finally, it's certified. We not only do we get a production, okay, we're up. We get production certificate. So, it's just that.
He meant we're up, meaning when we're off the air, we're still streaming broadband, so people watching Facebook and YouTube can pick up on our conversation. It's not like it's just a little back.
Oh, right, yeah. So if you're on Facebook, you say watch us on Facebook.
Yeah, but it shows everything, even now. Hello, everyone. But when we're on the air is when we really. So anyway.
Process. We go
Yeah, so very cool, very cool.
Oh, it's a great story.
I love your.
And his team at 303-867-7000, 867-7000, idealhomeloans.com. They can answer all of your home loan questions.
What's cooking? Where's Frankie Duran? And Jan D'Angelo, aerospace and defense. Jan worked for Adam Aircraft in the aircraft business. So let me ask you, what is your expertise? If you have something, what is your expertise personally? How did you find two billionaires?
Believe it or not, through the former governor.
Through Trump.
Bill Owens. Bill Owens is big. He was on the board of industrial investors in Moscow.
Are you a cat at what part of the corporate world?
I'm a business development guy, and I think my value in everything is that I know a lot of people. Yeah, when I came back, he was
good contacts. Very important.
Yeah, I came back. My boss said, I thought he might know everybody, but he's down met somebody somewhere. But after that, okay, I'm done. You know everybody. So now I'm VP of Business Development for Adam Works, which is Rick is a co-founder. He's a silent partner. So
Rick is a smart guy.
He's when we talked about culture, corporate culture, leadership last week, and that's what he's really good at. Is leadership and building a culture.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino. Thank you so much for being here. We love helping people. That's the entire focus of the radio show, of everything we do. And if you're new to Colorado, we have so many new people. I throw this in now and then. I've had a wonderful career here in Denver, 40 years, and 32 of those were in TV. And then, of course, almost the whole 40 in radio, doing help for people. At Channel 4, KCNC, we were News 4 at the time, then, of course, Fox 31. And now, TV we do now to promote the referral list. Right, Mark? Are we doing any more TV commercials coming up?
I am negotiating with Comcast as we speak. As you know, I shop diligently for our own advertising.
Because we want people to know about the referral list. Anyway, enough about us. Let's help you. This is how it works. You can call 24/7, 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. And then we will pick that up. Dan personally goes through every single call every day. We also, and you can call 7 days a week. It's 24/7. We also make outbound calls. And that means if you leave a name and number, we'll get you. I mean, we'll get you, okay? It's like a call ahead to get on the show. 303-713-TALK is the number when we're here and now, but 303-MARTINO still works. We have some very special guests today, and but two people held yesterday, so I want to get right to them. Martin is one of them. Martin has an opinion on, what is this, Susan?
Suzanne, what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Martin, no, I meant Susan is on the line, Barrett and Tim, and Martin has an opinion on what? What does Martin have an opinion on?
He wants opinion from you on Lifeline screening.
Oh,
it's some sort of ultrasound thing.
Okay, I'm not sure what he's talking about. So, Martin, what are we talking about?
All right, John.
Hi.
So, man, we're into full-fledged life preventive maintenance mode.
Oh, okay.
And
You're talking about health now?
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought maybe credit or something. Okay, so we're talking about health. What do you need my opinion on, Martin?
Okay, from your platform, Tom, what is the verdict on ultra screening? You know, ultrasound. You know, for the arteries in your heart and your veins.
All right. There are a number of different cardiac screenings people do.
Okay.
One is the ultra fast CT. One is the thing you're talking about. Ultra fast CT seems to be the most accurate. The one you're talking about, ultrasound, works, but they mostly do with ultrasound. They do a number of different things. They do the artery, the main, what do you call that in your neck? Whatever, the carotid artery or whatever.
Pulba or something.
They do that artery, and then they give it an age factor. And they also do what's called an ejection fraction, I believe, or it's part of the heart's efficiency under motion when you're on a treadmill. But I'm going to tell you, Martin, one thing you hear all the time: screenings don't predict heart attacks. Really, so many people have gotten clear screens and a week later dropped dead from a heart attack. Other people have had dreadful screenings but never had a cardiac event. So it's really difficult. What those screenings really are for, they show trends in lifestyle and diet.
Wouldn't that be just like these gene tests that you have? You come back with certain markers.
Now, gene tests,
your family may have this or that.
Gene tests will not show you trending. It will not show you lifestyle. It'll show you the cards you were dealt. Absolutely, positively, that's what it'll show you. This is one controversy, and it's not really controversial, but one problem that people have with health, okay? And I'll just say it. You've heard people say, I smoke 9 packs a day and never had any cancer, and I lived to be 98. And so never smoked and got lung cancer. We'll hear that. We'll also hear, one guy will be this big, fat, ugly slob, and well, I shouldn't say ugly, he's just big and fat, walks into and gets a blood screening, and his blood chemistry, his hormones and everything are intact and perfect. And you're thinking, the guy doesn't watch anything, he doesn't do anything. You know, how does that happen? Probably not big and fat, but people have certain genes, the cards they're dealt, and then the diet and exercise are how you play the cards. You know, you have people who are great in poker no matter what hand they get, and then you have people who lose no matter what. So you got two things to work with. You have the cards you're dealt and the way you play the game. So this
screening helps, Tom?
No, the screening does neither. The screening doesn't change your genes, and the screening doesn't change your lifestyle. So the point
show you though.
It shows you trending, yes. But Martin, here's the point. Now listen to what I'm saying so you don't think I'm crazy. What difference does it make? Let's take person A and let's take person B, and person A has perfect health as far as hormones and enzymes and all his blood chemistry, and you have vitamins and minerals, and you have person B who has a dreadful panel. Okay, what difference does it make? Because the advice coming out of there will be exactly the same, and that is, no matter who you are, no matter what is going on, the same lifestyle choices apply to everyone. So I've often wondered, why do you do screening? Why?
Could it show a possible blockage?
Right.
Well, of course.
Well, then that's why you would do it.
For acute conditions. But most of the time people do it for training. So, Martin, don't get me wrong. Obviously, when you do a colonoscopy, it's to find a polyp before it turns to cancer. And as Mark said, you could find maybe a mass or a blockage and save a life. For acute conditions, that trending is perfect. But that's what you do in a physical anyway. You do a good physical, and God willing, these things show up. But as far as just going out and all these other screenings, they're a waste of time. Bottom line, waste of time. Because they're not going to change your lifestyle. If you're going to live healthy, there's a very simple way to live healthy, okay? As you're younger, cardiac is important to develop endurance. Muscle building is not as important, although it is, you know, there's nothing wrong with strengthening. And then stretching and cardiac. As you get older, the muscle building becomes more primary than cardiac, and then the stretching is always, and that's as far as exercise. You don't have to overdo it. Then when it comes to diet, it's low to no carbs, moderate protein, and lots of good fat. That's it. You know, it never changes. Never, ever, ever.
So the EKG will work just as well as the ultrasound.
It's going to be a screen. Yes. Well, no. Because sometimes an EKG will not pick up a blockage. Again, stress EKGs are better, and then ultrasounds are better. So Martin, you talked about several different things. If you're talking about screening or diagnostics, there's two different things. If you just wanted to screen for general overall trends, it's a waste of time, because no matter how you're trending, you still have to do the same thing. If you're healthy, you maintain health. If you're not healthy, you go to a healthy diet and exercise program. As far as acute conditions, of course, if you're symptomatic in any way, then you find out why. You know, how else can we put it? Colonoscopies, I think, are the perfect example of proactive health. Do you know you virtually will never get colon cancer with colonoscopies? Never. If you do them as doctors recommend and they remove polyps, you virtually will never get colon cancer. Now, if there was a way to do that with the heart, it would be wonderful. But again, you know, a lot has to do with when you do your screening. You can have a cardiac event because it's in your family, and nothing you can do will necessarily prevent it. You can certainly cut down on the odds. So I'm Tom Martino, and Frank Duran, the real estate man, is here. I love Frank. I'm telling you like a brother, this guy is the very best at what he does. He proactively markets things, and I've used him several times. And you may say, well, of course he's going to, you know, do extra for you, and it's not true. Everybody I talk to says, wow, how does that happen? Then we have a common man, Jan D'Angelo, and I was just fascinated with Jan because he calls now and then. He's just smart. And then he said he was in the aerospace business or aircraft manufacturing business. But so his background is varied, though. He doesn't do just that. And I just thought he'd come in and be fun to talk to. He's really in business development, and I just thought he'd be cool as a common man. So we have these special guests in the studio. You can call about anything you want. Now, Jan, just out of curiosity, what kind of questions could you field, being somewhat of a business expert? I think people starting businesses and wanting to grow, I think you'd be great at that, no?
I have a great background with startup business.
What about finding money?
Actually, I have a good background about doing that.
And how to attract money, not just finding it, but once you find it, how do you attract it? You know, what do investors want to see? Do they want to see a buttoned-up guy with a spreadsheet, or do they want to see, well, what about a guy with frizzy hair and his eyes move around like Einstein writing on a napkin? We'll talk about that coming up. Frank Duran, the real estate man, thank you for being here, Frank.
Good to see you, my friend.
Now, I want to ask you something. In 3 days, how many views did you have on this listing you did for me? How many views total?
We had over 103. I don't have the exact total, but it was like 103,000 and some odd number.
and 6 showings immediately. This guy is almost supernatural. Mark loved him. Mark used him for everything. We all use him. Anyway, we're going to get to you. So, Martin, I hope I answered your question. We got more coming up. Tim, you're next. Of course, you've held, and we have so much to talk about.
Morning, everybody.
Hello, Frank. Hello, Frankie.
Is this the long commercial break one, or is this the short one?
They're all long.
I got to run to my car real quick.
Well,
I had something to show you.
What is
the brochure for your property.
if you want to, we can do it after the show.
After the show? Okay.
I have to run, Mark. Are we on audio? Can you two cut that for a second?
Watch out for that. And westbound I-70, a bit stop and go in the elevated portion. Also a little slow there on the approach to the 270 interchange. The weather forecast, mostly sunny today with a high near 33. Tonight, mostly cloudy overnight, a low of 12. Tomorrow, partly sunny, slight chance of snow showers with a high of 32. Right now, partly cloudy in Denver and 23. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 KHOW.
From a hot air balloon landing on a car to a load of concrete falling on one, we've covered it. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by
I have no
Fire
idea.
Insurance.
No idea. Living stem cell therapy. It is more than just amniotic fluid or umbilical cord. In fact, if you take those and send them out, they're not going to be effective. That's why Centeno-Schultz has developed the donor method where you have cells extracted from you at the time of injection, and then they process and re-inject you with your own stem cells, living stem cells. It is the only legal effective way to get stem cells at this time. Any chiropractor who has fluid shipped in, they're lying to you flat out. Centeno-Schultz, the real deal. Find out about their next seminar or get a screening or talk to them at 303-963-9201. And then check out this website, avoidsurgerytoday.com. Why is that great? Because they can avoid surgery in many cases. Avoidsurgerytoday.com, 303-963-9201.
Yeah, seminar tomorrow night
Thank you.
in Lone Tree.
Yeah. No, that's not the one that Tom's going to.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Just whatever. Yeah.
They have a weekend.
And then Broomfield
He has a torn meniscus. That's what we found out through the MRI.
Meniscus, now here's the truth about meniscus. The only problem with a meniscus is the pain.
Yeah.
Many of them, if you just lay off it, will heal. But what they tell you they're going to do, they don't sew it. People think they repair it. They don't. They round it out, like when you get a, what do they do when you have you know how you drill a crack in a windshield to keep, so they're rounding it out so it doesn't keep tearing.
Okay.
That's so it's not like that. They make it like that so it doesn't keep tearing. That's all they do. Now what stem cell does is it does healing. It actually will put tissue back.
You think that's worth it? Because I just don't want it to go through surgery.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. They're both about this, probably going to be about the same price. I mean, because one is insurance covered and you're out of pocket, and the other one is all out of pocket.
Right.
Stem cell therapy will take a while.
Yeah.
It might, but it has worked on that meniscus. The good news is meniscus is mostly just pain.
Yeah.
But the surgery takes a half hour,
right,
and it's day surgery. And really, I mean, I say, why not just get it rounded? And when they smooth that out, what's amazing about it is it does stop hurting because you don't have that active tear.
Yeah. I hate seeing her go through surgery if we can avoid
you know
it. They're saying do physical therapy.
Can I tell you something?
Sure.
Stem cell therapy for that little thing would be just, they have to go into the hip and extract. They have to extract stem cells. Then they have to re-inject them. Then you have to wait for it to heal.
Yeah.
Another reason
Stem cells are wonderful, but you can literally go in and have surgery, and in a week you're feeling better. I mean,
never watch the
with stem cells, she's going to be weeks and weeks.
Well, they said do physical therapy first. I just don't think it's going to work.
No, physical therapy will make it worse.
I think it's going to make her more pain, the doctor said.
What doctor?
Her doctor.
No doctor recommends physical therapy for a goddamn torn meniscus. Well, then the doctor is an idiot. Come on, I mean, use your brains. If you have a torn shoulder, you don't exercise.
See, I had a feeling you'd be very passive about it.
Oh, no. But use your common sense. If the physical therapy makes it worse,
it's going to make it hurt worse. That's what I thought. That's what I
don't let her do that.
Okay, no, I'm thinking the same thing. I agree. Because even just a little bit, if you try to stretch, if she's in pain.
You know,
hey,
much I got to work on.
Never mind. I was going to get Centeno on about the question we have on torn meniscus. If you can get them on, fine. If not, fine. How many spots we have with that? Do you have another one coming up? If you do, I'll only get them on if we can substitute that, put something in it so we lighten the load on it.
All right, wait till I start running our new spot.
And we do have to get better access here.
Come on.
Call Dan.
Call Dan. Dan's
list
List.
is
Now,
up.
Mark, you know you're doing the show correctly, right? Yeah.
Oh.
Find us at danslist.com. Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. This hour brought to you by
Approval Reverse Mortgage. You know, reverse mortgages, they're not apropos for most people. So you see, most of my products are apropos for everyone, or for a lot of people. This is a specialty product, but when it is apropos, it's wonderful. It can fit that niche where you have money available if you need it. If you don't need it, it stays there. You're not charged for it. And you never have to pay it back if you do use it. And your house ultimately pays it back. Even if the house goes down in value, you never risk more than the house ever. And if it goes up in value, you keep the extra. It's cool for some. ApprovalReverse.com. Those are the people we trust, Joan Sullivan and her team. So Frank Duran's with us, along with our common man who's anything but common, Jan D'Angelo. And we're going to take people who have held the other day. And then, Susan, we'll take you because we're calling you after you contacted us. But Tim held. And, Tim, you have a problem with what? What's happening?
So, long story short, I need a lawyer recommendation for my friend. I looked on the referral list, and I'm having a hard time trying to figure out which lawyer to pick.
For real estate, you mean?
Possibly. And this is why. He moved in with his in-laws. He and his family.
And who's he, sir? Your friend? Your friend is he?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And he moved in with his in-laws. They bought a very nice home in a new neighborhood in South Denver.
When you say they bought it, when they bought it, he bought it with them, or they bought it and he moved in?
They bought it, but he helped with down payment.
Do they?
And
Okay.
he's been paying the mortgage.
Got you. All right.
Now, he's not on the home, though. They are on the home.
Well, do they have any written agreements, sir?
No.
Okay.
Well, what's the matter with your friend? Why did he do this?
His wife died.
Oh, so this is his wife's parents.
Correct.
Yeah,
and
that's...
his wife's mother kicked him out of the house.
Wait. So hold on. His wife died after they bought the house or before?
No, they've been living in the house since September of last year.
Okay. Who's they? I need to get this straight, Tim.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Your friend and his wife, your friend and his wife moved into the in-laws' home that your friend helped buy.
Collectively, they all moved in at the same time.
All right. So when Mark asked, there was a little confusion. Why did he do it? And you said, well, his wife died, so we thought that's why he did it. But that's not why he did it. He did it because they all lived together. Gotcha. And then the wife died. How'd the wife die? Was it sudden or expected?
It was sudden onset, or not sudden. It was leukemia. They tried to fight it, and they caught it too late.
Okay, so Tim and his wife move in with her parents. He helps buy the house. Does he have a money trail?
He has a money trail in checks. He gave approximately $80,000 to the in-laws in multiple increments. I believe they did it to try to avoid paying taxes.
Well, hold on. First of all, there are no taxes if he gave it to them, so people go through conniptions for that. But in any case, Tim, I got to get this straight. For the down payment,
any amount of money?
For the down payment, how much did he give?
$80,000.
And then he started making the payments, right?
Yes, about $1,200 a month.
And he made
paid the father-in-law.
He paid. Okay, so he gave $80,000 down. Where did he make that check? Did he make that check out to the title company?
Nope, father-in-law.
Okay, so all of it was to the father-in-law. I got you. All right, so they kicked him out now, right?
Correct.
How long have they had this house?
Since September of last year.
Okay, this is a problem. And the problem is proving that he has any ownership in that house. He's not on title.
Doesn't appear as if he does have any ownership.
No, it doesn't appear as if he...
Don't you think there would be a good argument? Because he makes $100,000 a year. What is he doing giving $100,000 to his in-laws?
Well, hold on. Logic doesn't play into this, okay? The judge doesn't say, hey, you're right. Why did he do that? I'm saying that he's got a problem. Will they absolutely deny that he contributed to the purchase of that home?
Possibly. But I think even they have a problem because why did they get the money in the first place?
Well,
and then the timing is odd. Either way, he needs a lawyer.
Well, Well, I don't know what an attorney's going to... I mean, obviously we'll give you a recommendation.
Tom, don't they have to evict him?
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that.
As a homeowner, of course, they can't just get rid of him. They'd have to get rid of the house, but they're not recognizing his ownership. Therefore, as Suzanne says, they are recognizing him as a tenant, to say the least.
Now, they did tell his father that they would give him $40,000 in cash and $40,000 towards the children's education. But, I mean, they could just easily deny that.
Well, you mean to pay back the 80?
Yes, but they told and he, by all accounts, he's not entitled to get any of the mortgage payments back. I mean, he was living there. So
but I mean, also he's not entitled to get the 80 back without a written agreement of some kind. I mean, he's basically either the 80 grand is he owns the house or the 80 grand is a loan, but neither of them have documentation.
Correct.
So,
but let's go down path B, and it's a loan. Shouldn't he be able to get the loan back?
How do you prove it? If they say Tim gave us a gift, he's a wonderful son-in-law.
They wouldn't. That's what I was going to say. They don't even have to say that. They can say our daughter and her husband gave us a gift.
Yeah,
she's dead.
You're right.
But isn't it just as easy to say a guy who makes $100,000 a year gives a gift of $100,000?
No, it's not. No. That has nothing to do with it. It's better to just say he loaned the money. But what I'm getting at is they don't look at stuff. Courts don't look at stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, this doesn't sound right to me. Now a jury would, yeah, a jury would, yeah, sure. I mean, it's going to come down to it's going to come down to literally a case. He's got to sue them. Well, okay, let's just say he sues for 80 grand, right? Who says the loan is due? It is. Let's say it's a loan. Now who says it's due?
No, I'm with you. That's why he needs a helpful lawyer to even tell him if he's got a case.
I mean, why are these people so wicked? Why? Why won't they help him? How many kids does he have with her? With the
3.
Okay, certainly they're concerned about their grandchildren, right?
Well, they asked them all to leave, so I don't see how concerned they would be.
How old are these parents?
They're 60.
How old is he?
35.
Where did he get the 80 grand?
He sold his house and then immediately gave them the money.
Oh my God. Okay. And your wife died when?
His wife died.
Wait.
2 weeks ago.
I mean your friend's wife, right?
Yeah.
How many weeks ago?
2 weeks.
Okay.
Wow, Tom,
this is terrible.
sad.
This is terrible. I would love to talk. Do you think? I mean, I really mean this. I'd love to talk to them and say, listen, you know, there's 80.
Probably listening.
Man, we're missing
There's
chunks
got to be another
of this
side
story.
to this, Tom.
I mean, I'd like to say Tim. What's his first name? The friend's first name.
Carl.
Yeah, I understand. You don't want this kid now. Carl, why did Carl give you 80 grand? Come on, man. Have some compassion. He lost his wife. You lost your daughter. Huh?
At the end of the day, there might be a lot more to this story.
Like what?
There probably is.
Like what? Give me a hunch.
Okay, my suspicion is that possibly his wife was going to divorce him. And she was going to leave him with nada and live with her parents.
Yeah, but she can't leave him with nada because they don't just get to keep it. That house they had together, that 80 grand, right?
Right.
Now listen carefully. Okay, yeah. She can't disinherit him to begin with. So even if she wanted to leave the house 100% to her parents, she can't because the house isn't 100% hers. Whose house was named?
It's all in the parents' name, though.
Well,
if it's all in the parents' name,
I'm talking about the house he sold. He owned it.
No, I'm not talking about that house. You are. I'm not.
Well, we have to talk about it because that's where the 80 grand came. Listen, man, that house that he sold, who owned it?
Yep. He did.
Okay, so you said his wife was going to leave him with nothing. How would she do that?
By getting him to gift all the money to his parents,
and then divorce,
and then divorce.
Oh, okay, I got you. Hold on. I'm Tom Martino. Oh my goodness,
But
getting screwed by a dead person.
They said they were going to give him 40 grand. He's just said that.
Well, we got to figure out those terms. And I'd like to talk to Carl. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
You know he cheated on the old lady, or he was a dirtbag, or tuned her up one night, or something.
Is that wrong?
That's what happened. He tuned her up one night.
But they said they're giving 40 grand and 40 grand for the kids' education. Take that in the freaking heart.
Okay, I got a Rockies commercial coming up in about 30 seconds, guys.
But I say that's what he has.
Let me give you a hint.
He's out of the elevated portion.
He's got around 25
Yeah, good money after that
goes away.
The rest of the highway,
right?
That means the high country, a different story. Westbound I-70 now is shut down.
Who's not going to win what?
That's all good.
Who's got nothing? That's not necessarily true.
Really?
It's a court of equity. I mean, if he can make the case to the judge, I mean, his attorney would say, now, then exactly why did he give you? You're right.
40 seconds, Rocky's out.
They could just say, well, his wife died, he wanted, I don't know, but he has 3 kids. Why would he do that? And because we're not hearing the other side, where he tuned her up or something. Okay.
We.
You know it, good. Or cheated on her?
Could have.
Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal, Monday through Friday, 9 to 7. Yeah. Saturdays, 9 to 6. What do I love about Rocky's? Let me count the ways. Multiple selections of all different kinds of cars and the categories, the makes, models, and the colors. Selection. I also love 40 lenders to choose from, and they will do the financing on the spot and authorize it and get you 100% approved before you leave. No funny money. They never call you back and say, oh, we have a problem, you got to pay more money. They don't play car dealer games. I love the prices clearly marked on all the cars. Yeah, you can negotiate if you want, but you at least know where you're starting from. Rocky's has a great selection and a Carfax with every car, 40 lenders to choose from, no pressure, just friends, 303-426-4646. Check them out online, RockysAutos.com. But the important thing is that inventory changes often, so go to 63rd and Federal, 303-426-4646.
Okay, don't fret. That guy had to drop off for a minor emergency.
I had
I
insurance.
had to give him my back line, but via email to call us back. Or I said, have Carl call us. That seemed like that was easier.
I checked prices at pharmacies near me and found out that they were
This
wild.
guy,
That got me thinking. We shop around for the best prices on everything.
That
Why
has
don't we
become
shop
a
around
really
for the
good,
best
thank
prices
you.
on prescriptions?
I heard it.
So I
Oh, cool.
started GoodRx.com.
What was that?
Help
Which one?
people save up to
Oh, the
50%.
interview.
Compares prices
Yeah,
for every
he'll
prescription
surprise you
drug at
sometimes.
CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, and thousands of other pharmacies. We offer free coupons that help get you the best deal.
You hear Chris Voss?
GoodRx saves Americans
He's a
over $2
hostage
billion
negotiator.
on
He has a book called Never
We
Split
love
the
to help you
Difference.
too.
GoodRx can have prescriptions that
Have you
cost
heard him?
less.
Yeah, I'm listening to his book right now while I'm driving. It's a really good book, guys. Yeah, if you get a chance.
And save up to 80% today. Visit GoodRx.com.
You know what? You have to keep learning.
And I really mean it when I say, when you meet you, and this is a good impression, you have such a humble character. No, you do. You don't come off as some jerk, but you really
straighten your teeth,
manage to
your
get
palate,
what you
take care
want.
of
And
jaw
that's
alignment.
Just what I've been through. I just thank God, buddy, because everything I've been through in my life, it humbles you quick.
You really rise to the top.
Yeah.
And that's why, when you were, even back when you were working at Sears, you became the top salesperson in tires. I mean, because your technique. But back then, no one taught you anything.
No.
That was
I got
before
in there
your
as a
classes,
janitor.
right? So what did you do?
No, you know what happened? I didn't know anything about cars, and I wanted to move up, and I started learning. I was asking questions, teaching everything I could learn to whoever would teach me, and that's how I got into it. And you still wouldn't want me working on your car, man. I'm not mechanical.
Be a peach and turn that speaker down. We got people bitching.
Kitchens, finishing.
We want to hear what you're talking about.
By just putting money away.
I know. Trust me.
So anyway,
it's a balance.
Anyway,
Frankie, thank you. Now you got thank you for everything.
He got me 75,000 looks on that Castle Rock house on the first night. Mine was the 3D walkthrough.
Yeah,
first night or first weekend, first 2 days.
We bought in this price range. You might stay on the market a little.
What you should do is an open house.
Yeah, right.
Man, are they?
Do you know how many neighbors would show up to that?
Let's advertise whose it is.
Oh my gosh.
You need good representation.
We'll get you some foot traffic in there, man. Cookies. What else? How about a buffet? Let's do an omelet bar.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll advertise it out on
some balloons up and
free turkeys.
Stephanie loves that White House.
Where's that at? Right down the road.
303-429-6200. Free initial consultation.
When I first started out, I didn't know any better. I would do open houses religiously every weekend, and I had to learn the hard way.
Well, they're good for you.
They're okay for you, but you're entertaining your neighbors is all you're doing. Yeah. And they're taking all the flyers and free.
But you do get also, yeah, and also it's
But I wasn't doing my sellers anything.
It's also good for you though to get leads.
It's okay, but then you're letting in a bunch of unqualified people. You don't know who you're letting in the house. I think it's kind of unsafe too.
Have you ever had anybody steal something from an open house?
I've only had one thing stolen in 26 years. That was a fishing pole. I don't know why. A fishing pole.
Are you sure it was someone at Looky Loo?
We don't know.
Tom Martino here at
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Frank Duran, the real estate man.com. He's with us. So now listen, I'm going to take these people that contacted us. We're going to contact them. And Susan's one of them. So Susan, and we're working on that one with Carl off the air. Got evicted by his in-laws after helping them buy the house. That is a complicated one. We are working on it. Susan, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi.
Well, where I live, in an apartment complex, Bluffs in Castle Rock, they give a 3-day grace period for being late for bringing rent after the 1st. Friday was the 1st. I brought mine Saturday night, saw they were closed, so I figured I'd bring it Sunday morning. I didn't realize they were closed on Sundays, so I put it under the door. And then my neighbor said she was going to pay her rent that evening. And I said, we don't get charged because they're closed. She said, no. And I said, well, let's each call to make sure we don't. And so...
Okay, so why were they closed? Was it the President's Day thing?
No, they're closed on Sundays. And I believe they used to be open on Sundays.
Oh, they're closed. Well, yeah, Sunday's not a business day. So they're closed on Sunday, and you left, the first came on what day?
Friday.
We're talking about just this past February 1st was Friday. Saturday was the 2nd. The 3rd day would have been Sunday, and that was the grace period. They got it on the 4th.
Yes, it was on their property early Sunday morning. And then my neighbor...
I understand the whole situation. We're splitting hairs here, and they're going to say, look, you should have gotten it in when we're open, because if we're closed, we didn't get it. And they're kind of right and they're kind of wrong. I mean, it's hazy. I need to know, what does it say in your lease? What literally does it say?
Okay, it says 3-day grace period.
Exactly like that. There is a 3-day grace period for paying rent.
Yes, and it was on their property.
Okay, but wait, does it say, I don't mean to be an ass here. I really need to know. What does it say? It has to say, if you're... about late charges, it has to say way more than there's a 3-day grace period for paying rent. So without that, I'm shooting blind here.
Okay.
Do you have it in front of you?
I do not.
Okay. All right, so let's assume it's a 3-day grace period before they charge a late charge. The whole question boils down to this: were you late or not?
I was not, because it was on their property, and they're not charging other neighbors who paid it later than me because they were closed.
Now, when did other neighbors pay?
Sunday night.
Okay. So when they got there on Monday, there were payments under the door?
Yes.
And some of them they charged, and some of them they did not.
That is correct.
Well, now that's the part that now you got a case here, in my opinion, because now if they had charged all of them, in my opinion, they'd be in better standing. But they chose to, and you know for sure that some of them were not charged and some of them were.
I know for a fact.
Do you know why now? Yes. Why that just because that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Did you ask straight up? Did you ask straight up why some of them were charged and some of them were not?
Yes, I said I know that not all of us are getting charged.
Yeah.
And I am getting charged.
Right.
And
good question.
Stopped. Yeah, and I said, so I would like an updated statement on my door within 24 hours. She said, okay, and I've not gotten anything.
How many people were charged? Do you know?
I don't know, but I know for a fact my one neighbor, I'm not going to say her name, she paid a good 12 hours after I did.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. You see, that doesn't matter because they were closed, okay? It's not a business day. It doesn't matter when she paid. What matters is on Monday when they picked them up, they chose some to charge late. And there's got to be an explanation, so we're going to call and ask for the explanation. The Bluffs, Castle Rock, there's got to be an explanation, even if it is we didn't do it. Okay, they deny it. Okay, who can call the Bluffs and ask that very simple question? Because that's what doesn't make sense to me. If they wanted to charge late charges, I think you'd have a hard time one way or the other because it's open for interpretation. Now, if it is ambiguous, what happens is it's construed against them. But if they say 3 days, they could mean 3 days, period. You get it to us before we close. It gets so hazy when that stuff starts happening. 303-713-TALK. Simone? Simonia, what's happening?
Hi. So I got a credit card from the credit union in Denver in, I believe, 2009 for $1,000.
Now, wait, you stopped, your last payment was in 2009?
2010, June of 2010 is when they closed the account.
But when was your last payment, dear?
I don't remember. It was so long ago.
Okay, so is it safe to say 2009 sometime?
Probably, yes, sir.
Okay, so, all right, so what's happening?
So I got a subpoena from Vinci Law last Monday. So, of course, I panicked. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
Wait, so you got a subpoena?
Yes.
Why would they... if you never, ever made a payment on any of that debt, they have a 6-year period in Colorado to get you a judgment.
Unless they got a judgment already.
Unless they got a judgment, they're subpoenaing her for renewal or for...
interrogatories?
Anything. Simonia, are you positive they did not get a judgment?
He told me there was a judgment since 2013.
Okay, they went and got a judgment, and here's how they did it. They did it in one of several ways. First, they served you, you did not show up, they got a default judgment. Or they served you, you went to court and lost, and they got a regular judgment. Or some scum-sucking pig claimed to serve you.
I think that it was the third.
And never did. And when you didn't show up, now but you're not going to like the second part of this, okay? You would think it's logical if it's called gutter service. If somebody gave you gutter service, you were never served, and therefore you never showed up, and you got a default judgment, you have about 6 months to a year max to protest it. My question has always been, how do you protest that if you don't know about it? Well, that is where the rub is, because after 3 years, if it's a default judgment, no, it's more than 3 years, it's 6 years, or even 5 to 6 years, I don't think, in my humble opinion, not a legal opinion, but just from my experience, you're not going to get it set aside. It's too late.
Okay.
So let's go with the assumption that you have a judgment, and we'll talk about that coming up.
Where's that moolah, baby?
So here's another thing on that, because I talked to her and stuff.
Are you calling the Bluffs, or do you need Dan to do it, or should we get Deputy Kurt Clinton?
So she called them, started setting up payments. And then they told her, okay, you don't have to come to court now because you're setting up payments. So you might want to ask her, after she got that subpoena or whatever, or service or whatever she got, then she called them, and then she said, okay, I'll start setting up payments. She never has
That's how you say his last name? I figured
and then they told her, okay, you don't got to go to court.
No, I didn't know. But, oh, yeah.
I told her.
Cameron Cartier.
13, it sounded like.
Well,
okay,
I just wanted to know. They told her not to show up. I said, you don't show up.
Now she's in big trouble.
Right.
You wanted to talk to him about a torn ministry?
Yeah, but she said she lost her subpoena or whatever. I tried to get her.
Oh, okay. No, I'll tell him. Well, maybe
she lost it.
Oh, sorry, you got a light.
Bum, 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 bum. Uncle Kevin, that's what I like to call Kevin Calkin at Sheridan Auto Tech, because he treats you like one of the family. He really does. He's in business more than 20 years, honest and just knowledgeable and experienced, his whole team. What I love about him is how they take care of you. They have some recommended repairs. They have the mandatory repairs that they think you really need to get done. They'll never, ever mislead you, so you get trust, value, and someone who cares about you, like an uncle, Uncle Kevin at Sheridan Auto Tech. 303-455-7242.
Radio has made it super easy to discover the best podcasts for whatever you're into, and I mean whatever. From true crime to history.
So, what do you? Don't loan this guy money. You're going to me. Don't let him give you Don't let him give you a chunk, and then borrow 20. But I am so happy. I know. And I, honest to God, forgot about it. It's like he's giving me Dude, I can picture it'd be like my sister-in-law showing up with $1,000 and fucking have a heart attack.
No, Mark, like I told you, no one ever missing work, pain, missing vacations, not being able to get out of the house, and you pay.
Could I borrow some money?
Someone no, ever. It's only so listen, the business you're in now, what's your percentage of
so I'm VP Business Development.
303-597-4500, 597-4500 on my referral list.
Engineering and manufacturing company in the aerospace and defense business.
So, you'll be a vendor who supplies things to people?
Yeah, so my elevator speech is I build and sell spaceships, which we do. So
is it for space tourism?
For space tourism.
When is that going to actually take root?
It's supposed to, could be as soon as later this year, maybe early next year.
When will they actually know? This is for private spaceship people.
Yeah, so commercial space tourism. So you can sell seats in the capsule, sell rewards and business customer.
I would love to be like paid for probably. I mean, I like skydiving. Even guys that broke the record with the spaceship, the pilot. He's a giant. God damn it, I can't think of his name. He's a giant in aviation. I think that'd be cool. You'll know the brother's name as soon as I tell you something, right, brothers? But you'll know do a pattern like this. So every 3 minutes you get. You know what? I've heard people throw up sometimes, and I think it was tough. Okay, let me just talk. Can you know how to tell if someone's a pilot?
He'll tell you.
Where did you get that? That's a good one.
That text I just sent you, that's those people coming back for a second look. They're going to be there tomorrow.
Boy, the weather's cold out today. I don't know if I'm going to go flying.
And you got those other people too. I'll let you know.
Wow, it's getting dark pretty early today. We're
yeah, I know. Okay.
Boy, those eggs are good.
Where was going on the straddle?
Eggs are a little salty. Brother Janice reminds me of the airplane food on my plate.
He built the prototype.
Guys, you know what I thought the other night? You remember the episode where Kramer goes swimming in the river?
Oh yeah.
Some little midget guy says, "Step aside."
And he goes, "He shot like a rock." This is fun. Where's the line?
Oh, that's so funny. I got a kick out of the little guy. Go, "Step aside."
What did he say about that? Because there was other people along there, but they weren't moving. They're like dead bodies in the.
One guy goes, "Dad, I see someone else." Oh, that's where the mobsters are.
He talks to him like it's real matter of fact. No big deal.
It is. Oh, when it's experimental, then he also goes. Jerry goes, East River, that's the most polluted thing on the East Coast.
The FAA gives him, he applies for the FAA, gives him a letter of authority to fly.
Might be a good day to go swimming.
I'm a
pilot.
It's not a whole It's a certified.
So they take a crowbar and cram it in. If I take it to their metal, yes. I can do that. Modify it. Do anything I want affected by addiction. Of course, if you're an addict, and then it becomes experimental.
Yes, it's not experimental with.
I have to get that approved. You're saying. I don't just say I want to go experimental. What's your favorite color?
Well, if you make a mod,
blue, just like my plan.
And I don't know. What I don't know is whether or not you need to apply for an LOA to apply. They may just say you can fly as experimental. Because a lot of the stuff that I do now, we make a lot of stuff that goes on airplanes that are
share.
I got a program.
Seriously, I was a manager.
One of my greatest joys is building aircraft and
first 5-10 minutes.
experimenting. I've built experimental aircraft. But now light sport allows me to kind of have a certified airplane that I can do stuff with an LOA. That's all I need.
Yeah, there you go.
And I can get them really easy because of it.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino. This is the Troubleshooter Show, the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. Now, Simonia wants to talk about a 9-year-old debt, but very quickly, I'd like to take Dr. Cartier because he is in clinic now, so I want to just get some very basic information. Someone asked about this, and I wanted to know about it. It had to do with meniscus tears and stem cell therapy. So we know they have healed ACL tears in the knee. They've done rotator cuff in the shoulder. So Dr. Cameron Cartier, I'd like to ask you quickly if you guys have had success with torn meniscus and stem cell therapy.
Hey, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Yes, we have had success. It really depends on the type of meniscus tears, however.
What do you mean by that?
There are several different types. If you could envision...
Hold on one sec. Where are you right now with that? Your cell is cutting out. Are you in a good signal range, or is it on our end? Or I'm just trying to figure it out because your words are just choppy.
Okay. I'm on a landline in clinic.
You're at a landline?
I am.
Okay, we got to figure this out. Hold on. Figure it out, man. We can't talk to him. He's on a landline.
I would have guessed it was Sprint.
Yeah, no, it's a landline. They have broadband service, obviously. Something's going on. Let's just figure it out quickly.
Tom,
yes?
I called that apartment complex. I don't like that. They are tight-lipped. We can't discuss anything with you.
Okay,
I thought maybe since it's Castle Rock, I go through there, maybe Mark or I should go with her and chat about it, because they said she could come into the office and chat about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a major issue. The main question here for the Bluffs in Castle Rock, the main question is, Susan and a bunch of people dropped off their payments on Sunday. On Monday, which is the 4th day, they got them. They were obviously dropped there on Sunday. Why was she charged a late charge and some others not?
Maybe she's had late payments before and the others haven't. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Who do we have?
Dr. Cartier's back. He sounds much better, Tom.
Oh, good. So, Dr. Cartier, then, as I said, stem cell therapy for meniscus tears, you said it depends on the tear. What does that mean?
Correct. There are certain tears, specifically at the root, that don't get a lot of blood supply, that can cause catching, locking symptoms that are very hard to treat with injection therapy. So those are typically need to be evaluated for surgery. However,
okay. What about the others? What about the others?
But sorry, just briefly on that, the patient would want to make sure they get a meniscus repair versus a meniscectomy, because taking out the meniscus will just further the arthritis in the
But what about the one where they what about the one where they smooth it out? They say they smooth out the tear so it doesn't keep tearing.
Yeah, so if that usually means them going in, trimming cartilage, trimming meniscus.
Yes, and you don't like that.
Correct, because unfortunately that's just going to worsen the arthritis.
You like more of a stitching up, actually?
Correct, a repair.
Hardly anyone does that.
Yeah, it's not a very common one, but then the patient really needs to know what they're getting into, because once they're under general anesthesia and the surgeon's operating, it's out of their hands.
Okay, so what do you need to see to determine if a patient needs surgery, and you know where you think stem cell would work?
So an MRI and a complete physical exam with a physician in order to fully assess the situation and what they've already tried. Okay. Whether it's physical therapy, injections.
Now, that's the thing that kills me, physical therapy, because I might have said this out of hand and it was off the air, but Frank said that his wife's doc recommended physical therapy, and I said, for a tear? I mean, I've always been told you lay off it and let it heal. Is physical therapy appropriate for a tear?
It is. So
What?
We still want to strengthen that area because that tear.
It can't tear it more?
Unlikely, unless you are really unstable or you're participating in activity.
Hold on. I want to see if we can get some more after this. If not, that's it.
You made the comment, it was just call back fine, that a meniscus is just really the pain aspect of it. Why not just kill the nerve?
Well, and if you take it out, though, it will increase the chances of arthritis, like you said, because your bone gets closer together. If you look at the meniscus, it's really a cushioning.
So, but why not just kill the nerve then? So then you don't feel it.
It doesn't always hurt.
I mean, it's a good idea. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they can't isolate that nerve because it's so.
Yeah, okay, that's so.
Just remember, like the guy can get his leg chopped off.
I haven't gotten a second opinion that this all just happened.
Yeah.
And I now saw I mushroom apologetic for more on that. That was one of the reasons we called it.
Stuff? Good stuff. Yeah. Thanks, Tom, for doing that. Thank you.
The psychedelic mushroom.
I mean, it's so
the
meniscus is literally the washer. Do you know that, Mark? The meniscus is a washer.
I don't
It's a
know.
washer.
I don't know why that fires me up, but
And it looks like a washer. It's a horseshoe washer.
But I might be doing my first Facebook Live. That's really, I mean, if she's
I don't
being
believe
truthful.
I don't believe a damn thing of it.
You don't?
Nope, I don't believe it.
You don't believe she... You don't believe... Wait, you don't believe
Not
one...
today, tomorrow.
I believe that woman's hiding something where she didn't drop it off Sunday, or the check bounced, or she was short, or something.
Or it's been a second time or something.
I'm a shucks and darn kind of guy.
He told me.
That is so funny. That is so funny.
I tripped the other night that Bonnie Shields told me I cussed too much.
That you cuss too much, really?
Yeah, in my dream.
I think I've never heard you cuss.
I try to be a lady,
Makes me look like an altar boy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God.
I call her my little sailor.
My little sailor.
Drunken sailor.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that's so funny.
Were you here when Frank said that to me last time? We were on break. He goes, "Wow, you're really not a shucks and darn kind of guy."
I missed that.
Do you believe that, lady?
I like that.
I don't believe it.
I said there's probably something, maybe her second late.
She's habitual. She's a scofflaw.
Why would she wait till the very last day of your grace period?
Well, and I've always said this about grace periods. If it's 3 days, I don't care if they're closed or not. That's life's a bitch, man.
Should ask her for Dropbox. Obviously they don't.
Or the other people put it somewhere else. See, it's going to be something stupid like that. Well, all the other people put it in the Dropbox. She apparently put it through the front door, and we didn't find it till the next day or something. It's going to be something logical.
You know what's really funny is she says, and my other friend and stuff paid 12 hours after I did, and she slipped it on the door also.
Well, it's like, wait a minute, how do you know that?
Right.
You know, like, how do you know that all these other people, I mean,
there's something there.
We always don't get the right story.
We had a motel one yesterday. The one lady was saying that they scratched this and that, so they charged an extra fee for damage. And then the hotel was saying she snuck a pet in there, and there was feces everywhere. Think of how far apart those two stories are. And I think they're both. And I think honestly, both sides are lying a little.
Yeah.
Wow.
In her bag of needles.
In her bag.
And there's heroin needles in the room.
As she told me, and they're used.
And they're used heroin needles.
Like the used guy will put the cap back on, put the plunger all the way down.
And have it in a nice bag. Mark.
2 second show.
Oh, seconds are good. 2 seconds. You'll be out of there quick, man. You're selling it with furniture, right? You're going to move the furniture?
Listen, that furniture is very
You're going to add to it. I'm saying,
yes,
yeah.
exactly. It's a carrot.
Well, I did that too.
But Mark, here's the deal, really. Stephanie loves that furniture. It's all H&W or whatever that's expensive, H&M or whatever. Really expensive shit. Stupid expensive.
So he got me a ton of offers, and I did not want to move anything in the basement. Not the pool table, the projector, everything was made for that size. I only had like a 6-foot pool table. I'm not going to move that to a basement that's 3,000 square feet. So he went back and told all the offers that I wanted. They got to buy all this other shit or else they're not getting it. And I sold every bit for exactly what I wanted.
He used to be in Hudson, New York.
Sponsored by my radio station. Yes, and I live right across the river.
Did you know, like the Warfields there, Brooks, Elon Richards, Rich Moore Aviation,
We know what they are
charter operator.
I didn't know them, but I heard them.
I grew up over there. That's
My aunt is in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, man. I love because in Madison, just loved it. I grew up in Madison, so right across the guy did with the Cadillac, back in Cadillac. You know, the Rip family cars, you go right over there, that's the town. It empties you in Castle.
That's how I came up with my John Benet Ramsey.
You mentioned that one day on your show.
You don't have to run all WHUC. And Art Braddock will give you a price on the phone. He may want some measurements, of course, maybe a few photos. He'll tell you how to do that. Call him, get your price. You will go your material.
Yes, I agree.
Always wholesale on the counter material. Stone importer, of course. Hey, let's see your mom's leaving about solid surfaces. Quotes on the phone 303-38.
It's great for kids' parties.
All right, so we just got the new one approved, and I'll send that right to you.
Also, he will everything free. 303-386-5919.
Do you use what I heard it from Mark? I mean, I want to say it was
yeah, we use that too.
Family, because man, he does stand up calendar.
I need to get more versed with it though.
King of Queens? No. See, Google is my he's my go-to show too. It's in the cloud. America's Funniest.
I'm just going to start using it.
Then he did one where he's a father.
It's really oh yeah, that it looks like a very. I guess he's a dirty guy.
He does it, but it doesn't use her. He uses whatever, my stepdaughter, whatever it was.
It looks okay, so we got one tomorrow at 11, that's the second showing, and then we got one today. I'm going to meet them at 3:30.
He's really, right? He's very raunchy.
He tells this joke called the Aristocrats. It's unbelievable.
This is not working.
Someday, Google it and watch someone do it. Anybody can do it.
I can't remember his name.
This is not Bob something.
Bob Seger?
Or I don't know if I'll say the same thing. Bob Seger's the singer. It's Bob, that's him.
Yeah, well, I never would have. So you had said that. I thought.
The wrong. The Aristocrats is a good one. Basically, it's a joke that builds up that he just keeps saying more out.
I have a turbine helicopter.
I love jet engines. I have an Edstrom 480. It's a five-place. It's one of these jokes that there's really no punch. I keep it. Just by the time it's 5 minutes in, you've got this division in your head that's absolutely insane. Then you realize what's going on. I need to have this long story. Everything is perfect, but it's one disgusting thing after another. That's good. That's good. Yeah. One of the best. The best, Jerry.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino. This is the Consumer Help Show, where we help you with problems, questions, and complaints. I call it Media with a Purpose. Been doing this nearly 40 years. Let's just put it this way: the longest running show on the radio with the same host currently on the air. It's it. Period. Ha! And you know what I love?
Voicemail box of 720.
Okay, so somebody cut into our line there. 303-713-8255 is our number. 303 Martino works 24/7. 303 Martino. 303-627-8466. Okay, we have a few things pending right now. We have an apartment complex that Suzanne's very upset about because this woman dropped off some rent on a Sunday. Monday would have been the 4th day. There's a 3-day grace period. A bunch of people dropped off rent on a Sunday, and on a Monday they charged a late charge for her, she said, but not the others. Yes?
Hey, Tom, now if rent is due Friday the 1st, wouldn't the 3-day grace period end on the 4th? So the 2nd would be the 1st grace period, the 3rd on Sunday would be the 2nd grace period, and then Monday, isn't that right?
The grace period would be this. It's due on the 1st, so therefore that's 1 day of the grace period. The 2nd is the 2nd day of the grace period. The 3rd is Sunday. The rent would be due on Sunday.
So the day it's due is also considered a grace day?
Well, yeah, because you pay it that day, and if you don't, that day is a grace period. Yes, because you didn't pay it. You don't get that day free. That day is part of the grace period because you didn't pay it.
So, did she put her check the same place all these other people put it? Where
yes.
They all dropped right through the...
Yes.
Something's wrong with this.
I know. And here's the other thing. When Suzanne called, did you ask specifically, Suzanne, we simply want to know why one person was charged a late charge and not the other?
Yes.
And what did she say?
All they said was that the caller could come down and speak to them directly in the office.
Well, that's nice. I mean, you know, let's put it this way. No one has an obligation to speak to us, but the fact that they said that's pretty good. We've had some people who simply don't answer anything, you know, and that's ridiculous. So we're just trying to help people. The other issue was Frank and some others have asked about in the past about meniscus tears in the knee. A meniscus is like a washer that cushions, and it's like a horseshoe shape. And if it tears, some go in and round out that tear so it doesn't keep tearing. It's kind of like drilling a hole, a stop hole in your windshield. They round it out. Others, Dr. Cameron Cartier, he says he prefers a repair where you don't take tissue away, but you repair it, you stitch it up. I've never heard of that. As far as me, I had both knees done, and they rounded them out. That's what they said. And Dr. Cameron was about to tell us about the actual stem cell therapy part of it. So, Dr. Cartier, as far as the stem cell therapy, you've had success on many of them. There are a few that start at the root you don't have success with, but the ones you do have success with, does it actually go in, and does new tissue grow and close in that tear?
So that's a very good question. The studies are not definitive as far as regenerating tissue. But as far as improving the cellular environment and improving the overall stability and improving functional outcome and decreasing pain, those we have well documented.
Well, when you show with imaging, does it show that the tear is not there, or does it show that it's scar tissue? What does it actually show on the success ones?
On the success, yes, some tissue is filled in.
Okay.
And overall structure improved.
Cool. And how long does that take from the shot to the, let's say, the improvement?
Overall, it'll take longer than, say, a steroid injection, for example. But usually within anywhere from 2 to 6 months out after a procedure, that's where we'll see the significant change.
When will they start having pain relief?
Typically within 1 to 2 months afterwards.
And then as far as the actual steroid, now steroids, of course, over time actually weaken muscles and tissue and joints, but what about in a meniscus? It would seem to me if it gets you past the pain threshold, I was told, I don't know if this is true, that a meniscus tear can heal on its own.
It can, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the big dark secret, that there are many people who do surgery that shouldn't even do it.
Yeah, and meniscus tears also are kind of like wrinkles. The older we get, the more likely, or just about everybody will have them. It's whether or not they are actually symptomatic and contributing to your problems.
So, if you wanted to take a shot at it healing, what would you do?
So what I would do
steroid?
Is, no. I would give it some rest. I would go to physical therapy, and I would see a interventional orthopedic physician who is capable of putting stem cells in a very precise location under ultrasound and or x-ray guidance to that specific area to give it the best chance to heal.
Okay, thank you so much. And one treatment usually is what you need, right? You don't have to go for multiple, right?
Everybody's a little bit different, but typically with those, we would do one injection and then follow up and see how you do afterwards, see what your functional difference is.
If you have to have more, I know they're a few grand. If you have to have more than one, are they all the same price, or does it get cheaper?
That's kind of by provider, but typically if we haven't been as successful as we would want to be on that first one, it's very common that we give you a significant discount on the second one.
All right. Thank you very much. And that's Dr. Cameron Cartier. He's with Centeno-Schultz. talking about torn meniscus. 303-713-TALK, 713-255. Barrett, sorry for the wait. Let's talk about your car, Barrett. What's happening, man?
So, about 2 months ago, my car got repossessed. I think it was on December 6th.
Okay.
And I paid it off maybe about a week after. I got it reinstated. I didn't pay the entire loan
reinstated, meaning you brought it up to date.
Right.
Okay.
So I've been trying to get the car back since then. The company, it's called Predator Recovery.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You actually brought it up to date, and when did you do that?
It was about a week after it got repossessed.
Okay, so when the next payment was due in January, did you make it?
Yes.
And you can't get your car.
Right. So the finance company...
Did you make your February payment?
Yes.
Now you're making payments on something you don't have.
Exactly.
What do they say? There's no excuse for this.
So the finance company sent the release paperwork multiple times over to the repossession company, and when I'm trying to redeem the car and everything, the office doesn't answer. It says the mailbox is full. They gave me the phone number of some guy named Alan. I guess he's one of the repossession agents.
I'll tell you what I would do. After you get your car back, I would sue them in small claims court. I swear to God, I'd sue them in small claims court for every day I was about my car for the value of a similar rental, even if you didn't have to rent.
Right.
Okay, let's get on their ass. That's all we can do. When's the last you heard from them?
So I actually had an appointment on the 18th to go pick up the car at 2 o'clock. And I was there from 2 until 6 p.m., and nobody ever showed up.
This is ridiculous. What's the name of the place?
Predator Recovery.
What?
Predator Recovery.
Predator.
Predator.
Wow.
Oh, Predator.
I kind of like the name.
Predator. Predator Recovery. Okay. You can tell they're not, touchy-feely, right?
Right.
Okay. What's the person's name you're trying to get in touch with? Who's the boss?
The owner of the company's name is Steve. I've only spoken to him once.
And you just have a first name?
Yeah. The guy that I've been talking to mostly, his name is Alan. I just got the first name for him, too.
Oh, man. Josh. Okay, so hold on. And Deputy Dan.
Oh, didn't they also say that they were going to sell it?
Yeah, so they sent it to an auction once after I paid it off in Salt Lake City.
But you paid, wait a minute. You paid the lender.
Right.
What's the name of the lender?
Santander.
Did the lender pay them?
Yeah, they're paid. They sent all the release paperwork and everything over.
So I wonder if they're going to try to charge you additional storage now.
The owner said that he wasn't going to charge me. He said it was $37.50 a day.
Now hold on. What about this auction thing? Tell me about that. When did they threaten that? After the release paperwork came?
So no, it went all the way to Salt Lake City once already.
Wait.
And they transported it back.
But why did it go to Salt Lake?
Apparently the repossession company said that they didn't receive the release paperwork, so they sent it to the auction.
Okay. You're not going to like what I'm going to say. I'll bet you it's been sold.
No, I saw the car on the 18th.
Okay, because I'm really skeptical. You saw it.
Yeah.
Okay, if you hadn't seen it, weren't you getting suspicious like something like that could have happened?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Dan, can you light a fire there? Okay. 303-713-TALK. We are going to make some noise for Barrett. Hold off, people. We will let you know if we need your help to to light the fire. No, to keep it burning. We'll just light it right now. 303-713-8255. I did not forget about Simonia. Okay, we will get back to you. We did some research, and we have more.
Tell Simonia, if she didn't hear that, we're coming right back to her.
Sponsored by. Thanks for your help, Tom, on that. Thank you.
Well, we got a lot of good information.
Well, we got some great information.
House 60 spot. A couple of minor blips here.
What I reckon.
Those people are rescheduling again. I don't know what they're doing.
Great shape across town.
Don't worry about it, Frank. You have a full open palette. Do whatever you want, man. On a $2 million condo, they gotta be like for sneaky people.
Fail past there due to serious crashes and slick conditions along that stretch. Also, chain laws remain in place on eastbound I-70.
So anyway,
Vale Pass. Traction laws remain in place on US 611 Pass.
I just toys, basically. Not my helicopter, but my little thing. I love them. I just love them. I bought a little light sport.
25.
The little really manufactured ones. It only had like 40 hours on it, 30 hours. And they're so cute.
We've covered it. Talk to farmers.
They're packed with technology and stuff, and they're cheap.
Oh, the panel, yeah.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
TheRaleighHouse.com. Remember that name, The Raleigh House. It could be a lifesaver. The Raleigh House is an addiction treatment center. Now, having said that, what I love about the Raleigh House is that they will answer any and all questions about addiction, about treatment, about approaching an addict, about telltale signs, about behavior, about all of the things affecting the family, everything free of charge, multiple times, complimentary. Use this number. They want to help. Oh, they're not going to try to slam you into a sale. That is not their deal. They know everyone needs information. And the smarter the consumer, the better decisions they will make for the addict in their lives. Whether you are an addict or you are affected by an addict, call this number, 720-963-9201, 720-963-9201, TheRaleighHouse.com. I want that one.
A successful career is as varied and unique as you are. Whether you want to find a job, refine your skills, or try something new, talentfound.org is your guide. A comprehensive one-stop resource to help Colorado students and job seekers make more opportunities, find education, and connect to job opportunities.
We would have
Talentfound can help you discover their path to success. A career is an adventure.
Records so I could get smarter as we went on.
Right.
And then, at first it wasn't so much, but now, all I need is Google. I have everything. It's just the most amazing thing.
Oh, it's incredible. We grew up, you had the Encyclopedia Britannica, and then you had to buy the newer volumes, to keep up to speed and everything. And today it's like that quick.
Everything is wonderful. I so fully embrace technology. I was an early adopter of everything. I love it. I love what it does. When people say, "Oh, there's newfangled," you know what? If you use technology correctly, just like credit, they're the most useful tools in the world.
They do a great job.
Yeah,
They also have Botox.
Totally.
Those who don't leverage and say, "Oh, I don't believe in credit," well, you're saying, "Come on."
2302
I don't believe in technology.
2302.
Yeah,
Or
I
how
saw,
about this? The Hormone
I sold cars up for John Elway Toyota before I went to Adam
You will love the experience.
Briefly,
They have
it was
instant
an
blood
interim
tests and
move,
all
but you want to
their
learn about, you deal with it every day, but you want to learn about the way people think, everything, and the weirdness, it's like technology in the car, safety. So look, here's the test, the National Highway Institute, the crash test. Here's our truck, Tundra, here's the one you're going to go look at. Tundra's got front tires gone, whole cabin's intact, the Chevy, whatever, like a ball of iron or metal, and they're like, well, I'm a safe driver.
So how long have you been in Colorado?
If you leave aside the stint in Chicago for 3.5 years, that was a 30-year president. Came in 1980.
So did I.
Yeah, so same year. But before the oil bust, and when all the
we had the airlines, was a big oil and airlines, remember?
Oil and airlines, yeah. The airlines, Braniff was still out here, Frontier was...
Oil and airlines fueled us, and then both of them went out.
Yeah.
I mean, in a big way.
Yeah, I mean, the town was giddy then. Everybody was happy, there was money everywhere.
And prices weren't that high.
No, I bought a two-story little Denver Square in Congress Park for $80,000.
Way better than you can do on your own. And because Larson has seen it all before, they won't
judge
you. Their only interest is helping you through your tax mess. Don't wait. Don't waste another year with anxiety, worry, and shuddering whenever the mail arrives. Call now 844-LARSON-TAX. That's toll free. 844-LARSON-TAX. Or online at Larson. CarsonTaxRelief.com.
Oh, yeah.
Ask Alexa to play 630 KNO on iHeartRadio. Then you can hear a libertarian at his best.
How's it going, Dan?
Good. This repossession, I'll tell you what, this is hard. You can't even leave a message on it. Your mailbox is full.
For $114,000.
There's nothing. I don't think this guy's got enough money here.
Hello, Tom Martino here.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You know, what I really love, I love people who help people, and wink, they're bankruptcy attorneys. We never want to think about it, but we've heard on this show several times people in trouble, and bankruptcy can stop a foreclosure. It can help you. I never recommend it except in dire circumstances, but sometimes necessary. Winkandwink.com, 303-410-1720. Now I want to talk to Simonia, because really, Simonia, to make a long story short, if a debt is more than 6 years, they can't get a judgment. However, they probably did get a judgment, and you never remember anything about being served whatsoever. A lot of people ignore it. Then they get a judgment, and that judgment can vary in length. The minimum judgment I've heard of is 6 years. It can be renewed, and here's the deal. If it's a default judgment, it's just like a regular judgment. A default judgment says the person did not show up and they lost by default. Now, there have been times that judges see such an egregious case that they say, oh no, I'm not granting a default judgment, even though the person's not there. But in the vast majority of cases, judges will grant a default judgment. And here has always been the rub, and I've told people this before. You can literally have a bad guy resurrect a debt, take what they call a zombie debt, go after somebody for it, gutter serve the person, get a default judgment, wait on purpose, wait for 2 years before trying to collect, and then that person says, I was never served, blah, 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 and it's too late to contest it. That's why a lot of these judgments sit for a few years before anybody tries to enforce them. If it was gutter service, they don't want you the opportunity to call and say, oh, that court appearance was 2 weeks ago. I was in the hospital, and then they might set it aside. So right now, I have to assume that judgment is solid. I'm just assuming it, and that you have to pay it. So now the question is, multiple questions, by the way, does the person own the right to collect that debt? We've had cases where people were really in debt. They really had a judgment, but the person calling, they knew the judgment, they knew the case number, and they negotiated a settlement. The person, the woman, paid $1,200 to get the judgment satisfied. Guess what? That person was no one, just out of the blue. Wow. Someone who knew about the case. They researched court records, and they had no authority to collect. So, the first question, does the person have the authority to collect? That's the first thing. Well, that's what you got to figure out. You have a right to ask for Here's what you have a right to ask for. And I want you to, can you write it down or remember it?
Yes.
First thing, case number.
Okay.
With the case number, you can research the file, and then you can see what's called return of service. A return of service is an affidavit that is signed by this process server saying the manner and place by which you were served, okay?
Okay.
Once you get that, then you can worry about it, because let's put it this way, it'll at least give you an idea if it was served. Now, once you get that, you also get the case number. Now you want to see who owns the debt. That judgment was given to someone. So, let's say the judgment was given to John Smith. Now, John Smith assigns it to ABC Collecting. ABC Collecting, if it's not the one calling you, you have to see the chain of possession or authority. And you know what? A lot of collectors, here's what they say. I'll see you in court. They don't want to answer. But what they don't realize is there may not be a law that says you must give the debtor all this information. But I will tell you this, if you get to court and you say to the judge, I've asked for this, and this, the judge will get pissed off at them if they never did it. So he doesn't want to take you to court. The judge wants you to settle outside of court or before you get to him. So what you need to do is ask for documentation, and then if they are legit, then you settle. Okay. You settle because it'll never pay. Going to court will always cost more.
Okay.
If they're legit.
Have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did call the credit union and asked them who it was given to, and they told me these same people. Does that change anything?
No, the credit union is telling you they're authorized, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now you know they're authorized. Hey, how much is it?
It's $3,900 with 69 cents interest a day.
Okay, $3,900. Do you have money to settle? Let's say they would take $1,500. Do you have $1,500?
Not at the moment. I do not.
Because here's why I'm telling you this: settling without cash is they won't do it. Right. You know, a lot of people waste time and they get a settlement amount of $1,200, and then they say, "Okay, send payment." I don't have it, so don't even bother. What you need, you know, if you could, how's your credit?
Just under 620.
Yeah, it's terrible.
617, yeah.
Terrible. I was going to say, even a high-interest credit card, you could, you know, get the money from there and pay it off.
Right.
But you need to figure out a way to don't negotiate a settlement if you don't have it. The next thing, if you don't have it, you do monthly payments.
Right. Okay.
And then you can call us at any time. What's that?
Okay. I was just wondering if what they're doing is legit, and it sounds like it is. Okay.
It sounds like it is, but like I said, you're the one with all that paperwork. Mark, what were you going to say?
She's probably going to end up getting the money taken out of her check, that's all.
Yeah. A garnishment. Now, Barrett, this is the one where your car was repoed, you paid off, not paid off, you reinstated the loan, brought it current. These people, you know, they're hard. They're difficult. Did we call them?
Tried calling. You can't even leave a message. Their mailbox is full.
So, Tom, their business is based in the Springs, but the tow yard's up in Commerce City, and every time he goes up there, there's nobody there.
This sucks, man.
What do you do? He says he has the release papers, or they say they have the release papers, but no one's ever there to release it.
And I think, Mark, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
What's
no
the
one's
address
actually
of the
there.
place?
What's the address?
Of the tow yard?
Yeah, hold on.
5340 Harrison Street, which comes up as a mechanic.
You're up there now, Barrett.
Which comes up as a mechanic, Mark, but
Barrett,
then it's down the street, the tow yard.
Very frustrating, Barrett.
When I went to pick up the vehicle on the 18th, when I finally got an appointment set up, and I was there for 6 hours, I was texting this guy named Alan, and
you have his number?
Yeah.
All right, let's do. Well, okay, we're going to start with Alan. Maybe Magic Mark will do it. So let's just try to figure this out. Major Mark Major. Let's let him leave a message. And Mark leaves some good messages. What?
Well, the Predator, you can't leave a message. The mailbox is full.
I'm talking about this. He said he has Alan's number, and he texts it. So I'm sure we can just text it if we have to. Do we have that burner phone, by the way? Do we still have that, Suzanne? The burner phone?
Well, I have Google Voice. I'm going to text him.
Cool. Mike, what's going on with you, Mike?
How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing great. I just wish that these people would get help. I mean, sometimes I get so freaking frustrated. So I'm hoping I can help you. This HOA thing, it sounds weird to me. Why are they trying to prevent you from selling property?
Well, I bought the property about 9 years ago, me and a partner of mine.
Okay.
Bought the property about 9 years ago as a commercial piece of property.
Now, it was commercial at the time?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's zoned interstate commercial.
What does that mean?
Well, I don't know for sure on the interstate commercial. I believe they're designating everything out next to the interstate.
And you bought it 9 years ago, and
Correct.
What about it? Let's talk. What's going on?
Well, the HOA and the commercial lots, there was a number of commercial lots there. All the commercial lots share a community non-potable water system.
Non-potable for irrigation?
Correct.
Okay.
So about 6 years ago, they came to me and they wanted me and my partner, to pay a portion of the non-potable system for maintenance, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, you're on that system, right?
Correct.
Is there a community water agreement?
Well, you come to find out in the HOAs, which I finally got the original copy of the HOAs, we weren't responsible for paying that water, but we've been paying it for 6 years.
Well, hold on. So you're not part of the HOA?
Well, I'm not part of the water. If you read the covenants, I am not part of the water.
You're absolutely sure you're not part of the water system?
Yes.
Which means you can't use it.
I'm confident that we're not part of it, although it's to be paid by lot owners.
So you can't use the water?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And the water is really not a non-subject to me, other than the fact that I did start paying dues to the HOA about 6 years ago.
So you're saying all that money you paid, you didn't have to pay and you want it back, right?
Well, I don't even care about that money. The point is, I've got...
How much, though, out of curiosity, did you pay for water and everything else? All together?
It's about $1,200 a year.
For everything?
Correct.
Okay, so what's going on?
So, at any rate, I got a contract on the property to sell it, and I got a letter from the HOA.
Yeah, why are they trying to prevent it? Bottom line, why?
They're saying in the covenants the only thing I'm allowed to build is a single-family residence.
All right, hold on. We'll see what's going... This is very strange.
Real estate attorney. We never have a real estate attorney.
What happened to Ryan Witt?
Aurora Ortho 60 spot.
Sean Hannity at 1, KHOW Denver. Sponsored by Farmers Insurance.
Okay, nice. Is Ryan Witt still on or no?
Up in the high country, westbound I-70.
Ryan Witt? Do you guys still work with Ryan Witt?
No.
He was, okay, he was an attorney.
Ryan the Woodchuck Wood.
Woodchuck?
No, he went. Ryan! He went. Oh, he went. Start doing BK stuff with a big firm.
Did he? He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy, Christian man.
On westbound I-270 into effect, blocking the right lane, and crash off
Find it okay?
No problem. 70 to watch out for. The weather forecast, mostly sunny today with a high of 20 seconds. Aurora Ortho 60 spot. Now, few clouds in 25. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30.
6:30. A hot air balloon landing on a car. Load of concrete falling on one. We've covered it.
We've
Talk
covered
to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
You know, I tell you about Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ and how I love them because they can give you a straight, beautiful smile, align your jaw, get rid of sleep apnea, and also TMJ all in 2 years for thousands less than conventional treatments and orthodontics. That's right, because they use mouthpieces that adults wear. It straightens your teeth. And then as your teeth straighten, they use Invisalign at the end, and you have straight, beautiful teeth, and everything else falls into place without surgeries, without extractions. They have proven that the adult palate does not fuse as you get older. He has thousands of cases to show you. Call them. You will love the results and save thousands of dollars. 303-690-0100. 303-690-0100.
I heard from Alan. Alan checks back.
Good, Alan checks back.
He said, I'm sure there's another side that he's not telling. I just messaged to maybe about 15 minutes ago asking when can he come and get his car, and I have no response. So I put, he said he had an appointment on the 18th and waited 6 hours, question mark. So is there a good time to get his car today, question mark?
Good, thank you. I want you to talk about it. He's up to no good. So anyway, this little thing, second scofflaw today. Like 38 hours on it. So it's got a full panel, glass panel. Yep. And it's got an autopilot. And it's got a parachute. Yes. And it's 4 gallons an hour. Brand spanking new. I negotiated the hell out of it because I bought it with 38 hours on it and it was titled brand new. You can get them decked out for $175. So unreal. $175. Brand new. And they're so beautiful. They're 2-place. They're just, for somebody who wants to fly, do you know that those 152...
You got to check any of our accounts in there. I got to, they need to know where to pay. I need ACH info. You have one?
Because I got my solo on a 150, not a 150, and then I got my ticket in a Piper 140. Yeah, there's an option training.
Did you have the first bar ring? Yep. I love that. I used to fly with those all the time.
Yeah, then we got that 180, and then the one that came out in the early 70s with the longer wings. The Archer. Yeah, I think it was probably the Archer. Yeah.
So it's easy to customize a program that fits your needs.
It is the Piper Archer, which is the Cherokee Archer, and then there was a Warrior. The Cherokee Warrior and the Cherokee Archer. The Cherokee Warrior was 160. The Cherokee Archer was the 180.
And you will
right, the other way
pay
around.
upfront fees, unlike some lenders who charge $500.
And then I had a new Cirrus from the factory, my first factory airplane. Oh, I had a Bonanza years ago, but the first new cockpit one, new composite, was a Cirrus. Oh my God, I was so excited. I was so excited. It was the most beautiful airplane.
It should be the art of stone.
Yeah, the current version of the Cirrus is. I mean,
I bought it in 2000.
Oh, yeah, and the improvements, since then. I mean, the guys do the subtitle.
I mean, I had a lot. I didn't have what I didn't have was that step button, the one button straight level, no matter what's happening. Right. One button, boom, straight level. Then one button, 180 or something. But you have. Oh my goodness, what you have in that thing. That thing has so much sophistication. They wrote the book, those brothers wrote the book on modernizing planes, because I remember up to when really it was what an old train with new technology put in flight. It was all just, still the door panels were thin and wispy and what do I need?
630 KNOW, an iHeart radio station.
What am I doing? Help me. Okay, we're back. 303-713-TALK. Let's go to the phones. And we have a repossession issue and a follow-up with Barrett. Okay, so Barrett, your car was repossessed, rightly so. You brought the loan current. The lender released it and sent release papers. You say you've been trying to get the damn thing out of this place, and we have notes on it. Predatory recovery. You said one time you had an appointment and waited 6 hours. Then this guy texted to us, and he answered us immediately and said, what did he mean? He's sure there's another side to the story, Suzanne. I mean, he is the other side.
When I reach out to people, Tom, I always say, maybe there's another side we're not hearing, and he just says, I'm sure there is another side that he's not telling. I just messaged to him maybe about 15 minutes ago asking when can he come get the car, and I have no response.
Barrett, did you get that message?
Yeah, I did get the message. I don't know if you heard the radio show or something like that, but...
Well, we called him. So did you call him back?
Get all of them.
Did you call him? Okay, text him back immediately and let us know what happens. Let's just get right to it. The only issue we have, they rightly repossessed it. You rightly brought it reinstated. You reinstated it and brought it current. The lender rightly released it, and now it's up to predatory recovery to release it. And let's see what happens. Alan, thank you for responding. We do appreciate that. Okay, so far I have no issue. Let's just see what happens. And if there is another side to the story, Alan, you can state it in a text. We'll read every word, or you can call us, 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466, or whatever. Now, Mike has a very interesting problem. Mike has a commercial property, and then, of course, we're going to talk some real estate. I got some emails for Frank Duran, the real estate man. I even have one for our guest, Jan D'Angelo. Now, Mike says for years he's owned this commercial property, 9 years. He's been paying HOA fees, even though he's technically not part of the HOA or the community water for non-potable uses. Mike, how do you know you're not part of it? I mean, does it say this property excluded? I mean, how do you know?
Yeah, when I read the original covenants that was written for the development,
yes,
it excludes the commercial lot.
Does it actually say that?
Yeah, the way it reads, it says that the responsibility of the non-potable system is on lot owners with a.
You are a lot owner.
I'm an outlaw. I am actually an outlaw.
Yeah, but you're a lot owner. You're a lot owner.
So rather than argue that argument with them...
You're not even worried about that. You don't care one way or the other. You say you're zoned commercial, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, Mike, you said the HOA told you it cannot be sold as commercial, or it can be, they don't care, but you can't do anything commercial on it.
Correct. They're stating the only thing they will allow to build on the property is a single-family dwelling.
Okay, I understand that.
The problem with that is the town won't allow me to build a residence on a commercial piece of property.
All right, and here's the issue. This has happened before, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When you have property, it's governed by whatever it's governed by. Some properties are governed by non-voluntary compliance. Like, if you're in a city, it doesn't matter if you like it or not, it's going to govern you, right? With an
Correct.
HOA, it's compliance, and when I say voluntary, let me make this clear. It's voluntary when they're forming the HOA, because everybody gets a say. But once the HOA is formed, now I'm just saying if that property is part of it, usually when someone signs to buy a property that's part of an HOA, they are also presented the covenants and restrictions, and they agree to them as the lot owner. Sometimes they're not presented with that, and they claim, I knew nothing about it, and then there's a court case and an argument. In some of those arguments, the real estate people have to buy it back. In some of the, or they have to be censured because, you know, they didn't tell the guy, and the guy had no way of knowing, and he got hooked into this HOA. In other cases, the HOA had to leave them alone, but there are so many different cases that, Mike, it's going to come down to this. If you are part of the HOA, and the HOA says this is all you can build, it doesn't matter if the town will allow you or not. If you agreed to that HOA, meaning your lot, if your lot owner at one time agreed to be part of the HOA, then they're part of the HOA, and the HOA can enforce it, and you're going to have to sue them because now, here's the problem. If the city will allow you to build commercial and the HOA will not, will the city issue you a permit? Some will not. Some will actually require a letter from an HOA in order to issue a building permit, even though they're not a government agency. And if that's the case, you're going to have a problem, because here's what I would do if it was my property. If it was my property and it was zoned commercial, I would go and get a building permit if I was allowed, and I'd start building, and the HOA I would put it on their side to have to get an injunction to stop me, because it's much harder for them to stop me than for me to get permission. So I wouldn't seek permission if I didn't need it. Do you know if you could be granted a building permit?
According to the town, I don't know, because the buyer has actually invested about $30,000 with a planner and went through the planning stage with the town.
Okay.
And I do believe it preliminary had approval, yes.
But that's not what I'm asking. When it comes down to a permit, will they issue a permit?
That I do not.
If they will, I would just go ahead as if the HOA doesn't exist under my interpretation. I don't mean me, Tom. I mean if I were you. Under my interpretation that it's not part of it, and let them come after me, because it's harder for them to go after you. So they are going to go after you probably, though, right? And you're sure you are not part of the HOA. Because what you read to me doesn't say you're not part of it. So if you would like an interpretation, we can probably find an attorney to look at it if you want to send it to us.
Yeah, I'd love to, Tom.
All right. But you really need to find your own attorney, obviously, when it comes to this, because I think you're going to need one. This is very, very tricky.
Why don't you just go get rezoned for residential?
Sponsored by Farmers Insurance.
He doesn't want to be residential.
He said that the city wouldn't allow him because it's commercial build.
He wants it commercial. He sold it as commercial.
Oh, I didn't think he had sold it as yet.
The new owner, he says, is trying to, or the buyer, he said, the buyer is trying to get a permit. I mean, this is a
Talk to your
nightmare.
dad.
He
Can't
wants
find the
highest
dogs.
and best.
Got to be at work at 12.
He wants highest and best use is what he wants.
Well,
What is
okay, what
is it for Lara want? What is Lara want?
Yosemite as well. The weather forecast. Well, it's going to be mostly sunny.
It sounded to me like she used them for
Well,
job
okay,
descriptions.
I mean, you let them out. You can't, it's fucking 0 degrees out.
That's
You
what
can't
it
freeze
sounded.
it.
I asked if there's a problem. She said, no, just want to ask Tom if I did the right thing.
From a dog accidentally flooding a living room to a dog taking a joyride, we've covered it.
I want to switch it because we have a call coming up on fixing.
I mean,
So
the
I'm
lady
going to
saw
do
him
simply
somewhere.
floors 30 or, okay.
Could he sue back for his HOA dues?
All right. Simply Floors Inc. That's a website. SimplyFloorsInc.com. And what will Simply Floors Inc. give you? Low prices on floor coverings, high quality installations, and designer services. They're at 52nd and Ward, the southwest corner. SimplyFloorsInc.com. You can also give them a call, 303-456-4660. And here's the main reason: savings, 20, 30, 40, half off on some of the popular floor coverings. They have them all, but cheaper. 303-456-4660, simplyfloorsinc.com.
iHeartRadio has made it super easy to discover the best podcast for whatever you're into. And I mean whatever. From true crime to history, comedy to food, and dozens of other topics. In fact, there's over 25,000 podcasts.
So now,
but don't get overwhelmed.
I'm putting in Fix It on the 15 next hour.
That's perfect for you. And listening is always free. Even if you want to... So you can listen online.
I'd like to see what the address is.
How much?
He probably just blew a $500 fucking bonus.
How much to this break?
At Bright Light Chiropractic, the website
did, Mark?
brightlightdenver.com.
My fucking dumbass kid that I told 5 times her fence is broke. Don't let the dogs out back. Now the dogs are running around.
And of course, he's become known for his torque release technique that releases the nerve pressure and allows your body to relax and heal itself. Bright Light Chiropractic, 720-583-4506. BrightLightDenver.com. That's BrightLightDenver.com.
LinkedIn knows there are a million reasons you might need to make a new
Dogs
hire
don't
for
come
your
back
small business.
and call them very good, or?
Oh, one at a time they do. They're not even, I mean, we had a neighbor 5 houses over.
So, Jason, what's next for you? Not starting a rival accounting firm, I hope.
No.
Whatever the reason, the result is the same. You need to hire someone. The right someone. LinkedIn Jobs makes it easy.
Got the
With
shot
access
collar
to
for
qualified people who
my son's
aren't
dog.
on any job board.
God, is that
Oh, yeah, they were big time, man.
You can find
You just gotta shock them a couple times and have that just vibrate. They come running for it.
Some of them make a sound, too.
Like you
In fact, conditioned behavior.
every 8
Very first time I had a shock him where he didn't come back, he just knew to come back. He knew he was screwing up. The dog just said, did you really
Accident of Colorado.com, a great place to get your car fixed. If you don't have paint damage, it doesn't take away from the value because
like
they
the way
don't
you
touch
used
the
it for
paint.
your
You don't
buddy.
even know they did it, and he doesn't report to Carfax. That's right. The
Trained in very well.
So go to Flexident if you have any hail damage or dings. 303-619-6273. Look for Flexident of Colorado.com. Flexident of Colorado.com. And on my referral list at referrallist.com.
About 40% of
Mark had a friend who put a shock collar on. The guy put it on there just as a joke. And Mark wouldn't let him take it off. If he tried taking it off, he kept shocking himself.
$1,200 a year in credit card interest. That is an astounding.
It's like one of those episodes where the guys who did the movies, the movie with all
what's that? Jackass?
Jackass.
So you can use that equity to pay off debt,
Yeah, it'd be good
remodel
one.
your home, or build your savings account. Just call the salary-based mortgage consultants at American Financing. They'll guide you through the mortgage refinance.
Well, I'm going to get the fuck out of
Never
here.
charge upfront fees, unlike other lenders who charge $500
I have zero
to
faith in him
qualify.
finding my
Start
fucking
now
dog.
and learn how you can save up to $12,000 a year, and you may be able to postpone
I'd like
up
to
to
kick his
2
fucking
months
ass out of the
mortgage
house.
payments. Call 303-695-7000. 303-695-7000 or apply on
That isn't good, Jan.
He's a passion. No, I can totally relate to that.
He loves his animals.
Whether you're buying or
Really
selling a
does.
home,
What kind of
I
dogs
can
does he have?
recommend no one better than Frank
A
Duran,
beagle and
the real estate part of Remax Solutions.
what's the ones that couple years
he can often sell homes
Doberman.
for more money than
They'll
the
run.
asking price. Call Frank
They'll-
Duran for a free market
they're older
evaluation
dogs.
and see what he can do for you. Buying or selling, go with Frank Duran, the real estate.
That's a little unnerving.
920-6020
Mark had to go
or FrankDuranHomes.com.
Amazing.
Actually
leaving
the
must be
first
aggressive.
dogs.
To keep it, you must be defensive. Hi, this is Carlin Tucker. Our Tucker all-season portfolio provides secure monthly income to market offense with growth and market defense.
Oh, there we go,
providing
man.
downside
What about
protection.
you,
Now
like
you can
that?
retire happy.
Yes, I
retire
do.
with Tucker.
What about
Call
you?
your complimentary consultation
Are you?
at
That's what's up. I understand. That's what I was. Well, I saw a landmark. Yeah. So.
No, I have a
I'm looking at.
This is not an offer to buy or sell.
Securities
are offered through
it's
Tucker
a nice,
Asset Management.
nice building, nicely run.
Yeah.
A nice.
Nothing but this.
No, it's a great place.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But,
Hey, do you want to see the video? I can show them the video. Is that okay? Not yet, but I mean,
I don't mind.
You'll hear it on 6:30.
Are you looking for a small thing?
Yeah.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, we got a lot happening here. First of all, Frank, on real estate, quickly. As far as size goes, is there a per square foot size for Denver Metro? I don't think there is, right? It depends on the area.
It depends on the area, depends on the location, absolutely.
Oh, okay, obviously. So, but what are the ranges of square foot prices you've seen? They don't want to know house prices, but per square foot. Do you ever look at it that way?
No, I really don't, and I'll tell you why, Tom. You could have one house that backs to a golf course, same square footage, a home down the block that does not back to the golf course. Price per square footage doesn't mean a whole lot.
Well, there is a range, though, of price per square foot, but that doesn't mean anything either.
No, because it varies so
much. Right, it depends, right, on what it is.
I mean, I sell homes in Denver that'll sell for double the amount that they sell for in Thornton.
Okay. 303-713-8255. I'm just making a note here so I can return that emailer. So, what is this update, Suzanne, on 6? Do you understand?
Well, this is the thing, Tom. I think I was gone for this, but it's something about an E470 toll call, and he has an update for it.
Chris called, and he said, I have this E470 bill. But you were confused about something. I need to know what it was. And spark my memory on this one.
So, Tom, it was actually, they had me at $3,800 worth of tolls.
Right.
Unpaid tolls. And you guys actually called them.
Right. Oh, I remember. I remember this. You're a scofflaw. That's what it was. When you had a number of vehicles, and they said that, you said, oh, I only... you know, this is not true or something, and they said it's even worse than it looked like, and we said you should try to negotiate, and we called ahead and said, what would you be willing to do for this guy? So what happened?
So they took it down, basically 2 vehicles on there, the car, the Volvo, and the Expedition. I'm gonna pay both of those off at $2,100 from the original about $4,000 I owed.
Good.
So,
that's
one
good.
One-time payment and get them cleared.
Now, did you get some transponders now?
I have not yet. So
you should, because it's always cheaper. I think it's cheaper that way. Yeah, you get
absolutely.
You get some kind of a break. So thank you for letting us know. 303-713-TALK. Lara, welcome, Lara. What's happening? Lara?
Laura?
Laura, I'm sorry, Laura. Yes, Laura, what's happening?
That's okay. Hi, Tom.
Hi.
Long-time listener.
Thank you
for all you do.
Thank you.
Last night I got home, and went to turn up the heat and found out my heat wasn't working, which nobody likes to have happen. And fortunately, because I am a listener, I quickly went to Fix It 24/7.
Yeah.
I gave them a shout.
Yes, and what happened?
So Justin Blatter, who's amazing.
I love Justin.
Great guy. He took a peek at our furnace, and it was a 27-year-old furnace.
Oh, my God, 27 years old. I'd get rid of it no matter what just to save money on the efficiency.
Right. So, but, you know, I like to do my due diligence, and I know you preach that.
Yes, of course.
Felt, you know, it was an emergency, so I felt pretty good just calling your people, but we put down a good chunk of change.
How much?
The $14,600.
What did you get for that?
I got a furnace and a new air conditioner. So we did the standard package. So it's the 14-SEER, 10-year parts and labor, 5-year labor.
I don't, without knowing, listen, here's what I'd be happy to do, because those furnaces and air together in a home can range from 9 to 18, depending on so many different things. I don't know what was involved as far as code upgrades or anything like that, but here's one thing I do promise. I will look at that. I will look at that, Laura, and you have to send me that particular invoice. I want to know what's listed on there, and we will check it out for you. So I can't tell you by just a price, but what I can do, is look at it. Suzanne's going to tell you how to get it to us, and then we'll do a follow-up for sure. Because in some now, my gut is telling me that there's a reason for everything, but it can be as low as 9 up to 18. So we have more coming up. Send that to us, and we'll get back to you.
Very cool. Yeah.
Joe,
it goes on a while.
Yeah, interesting, the two-sided fireplace.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Now, this takes you through the lobby.
With cases like this, involving you. He also, of course, has a practice for DUIs and smoking.
I was just showing you your walkthrough.
This is not.
That's a pool. There's actually 2 pools, east side, west side.
Is this? So you do this before getting into the unit, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it takes you in the front door up the.
Oh, cool. I never saw this fully. There's no way you're not speeding ahead, right?
I did a tiny bit, but hey, Tom, you remember that this was.
Wait a minute. So we're all the way into it here and haven't seen the condo yet.
No, we've already done the tour.
It does it like this. Like this guy,
living room.
He lets you in. That was a nice touch.
So you did. That's
the bathrooms, all of that. Yeah, we've been.
So you went through the condo already.
Yeah, then
that's
it
what
takes
I was.
you. Yeah. Then shows you a little bit of the outside, and then takes you back to the amenities, and then everything in between is the condo.
Hi, I'm Linda Gardner, host of Your Money.
That guy was nice to get on film with us to open the door. I thought
that's really cool.
That was a nice little touch.
Your retirement future, you need to start with a written plan. Together, let's
Yeah,
create
it's
a
just
plan
first
to
class,
make sure
everything.
your money lasts as long as you do.
Conterra is
Call
really nice too.
720-488-604.
Conterra doesn't have the amenities
Right.
pools
Right.
and the spa,
Exactly.
but they have the exercise room
At
of Conterra.
yourmoneyyourretirement.com.
This is Denver's Talk Station, 630 KM.
Oh, that would be my guess.
With Ross Committee mornings, Dan Kaplan's afternoons at 4. KHOW.
Yeah, I know a little bit of landmark history.
Hold on, there's nothing wrong with it now. I'm talking about there's something.
President from Michael Cohen is being pushed back. Fox's Jared Halpern
Yeah.
live.
Michael Cohen's 3-year
Yeah, Conterra, there's 2 HOA fees.
So we have to postpone Cohen's start date to May 6th. 2 months
I've not heard anything negative about it. Former president of Adamir was here.
Prepare for congressional hearings. Cohen is expected to testify to House and Senate panels about his role in the reported Trump Tower project in Moscow. Cohen pleaded guilty to lying to the Senate Intelligence Committee and campaign finance violations.
Thanks, Jared. Meantime, the president calling the press dishonest after denying the New York Times report that he urged the acting attorney general to intervene in Cohen-related investigations. President Trump says stories are written as absolutely no basis in fact and that writers are out of control. He also continues to take aim at California, where the governor is bound to fight to keep federal money originally planned for the bullet train project that's being scaled back.
A day after the Transportation Department announced its intention to cancel nearly $1 billion in funding for California's long-planned high-speed train, President tweeting said the federal government
Not because of what's
billions
happening,
of
but
dollars
potential.
wasted. The Trump administration is also exploring all available legal options to recover $2.5 billion in past federal grants for the project.
Sponsors John Decker at the White House. Governor Gavin Newsom accuses the president of seeking political retribution for California's leading role in a multi-state lawsuit with national emergency declaration. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo just out with a statement about an Alabama woman who joined ISIS and now wants to
So there's no way to ever garner the power she has because she took that ability away as soon as she got the power. So, honest to God, that she runs the place. I mean, she's had people fired. She gets people, and that's the other thing. She stacks the board.
Hey guys,
Because she
don't
loves
mind me
of
as I
course,
interrupt
yeah.
your radio
So
program.
she-
It's Sue
I want you
Cosner,
to be on the
sexual
board
health
this year. I
expert,
want you
on
to be on
men's
the board
performance
this
in the
year.
bedroom.
And she
Do me a favor,
literally
don't
has,
touch that dial.
she's run,
That's a
it's
mistake.
addictive.
If you've been listening to
The
this
good
radio
news is
station,
she doesn't do
it's
anything
probably
bad, but, okay, for example, when it came to carpeting and stuff, when we
all
renewed,
natural
when they
male
were,
enhancements.
the
Men constantly
homeowners
reach out and ask me, does this knox drill really work? Or is it just another scam product? I can tell you, there's nothing better than knox drill. I recommend
because
filter.
all she has to do is remote. Now,
Transform your life in the
even
bedroom
if one or two proxies,
strong, powerful results
give
that increase
them
your
back
blood
to her.
flow
I mean,
fast.
take them
No
back.
prescription, no
Well,
side
they can at any
Just
time,
imagine
but
Viagra
there's
on
no
steroids.
way to
So
tell
call
all of
Metro
those
now
proxies
and take
what they're
advantage of an
doing.
incredible
Like,
bottle
you
offer.
can't say to them, please reconsider. And there's no system whereby a proxy has to be affirmed. Once you give it away, unless it's in your head, you never think about it again. Because it doesn't expire. Think about that danger. Think about it.
How about when sold? How about when property is sold?
Well, oh yeah, I guess when a property is sold, that property would obviously go away because you have a new owner, right? I mean, but think about the power. No one can you can't contact people to say, hey, so if you wanted to put something in the newsletter saying, hey, take a look at your proxy, make sure, because one person should not have too much power, she wouldn't allow it. So there's no, it's so frustrating. One guy there was so frustrated at the company that he wanted to go on the campaign, and she literally blackballed out. And then said he couldn't have his condo for what he was using it for, because it was a business. And sure, it's a business, but it's like, if you're, let's just say you do oil and gas, and you sit in your condo, and you get up in the morning and do oil and gas leases on your laptop, that's technically a business. Nope, can't do it. You know, I mean, what I'm saying is, he can't. Because of a certain, because
I saw that people in some of their news are saying that there's too many rules. There's too many rules.
But here's what I think, okay? I didn't leave it because of that. My thing was, by the grace of God, nothing has gone wrong with that system.
I'm Mike Capel,
But
founder and CEO of Patriot
do
Software.
nothing about it.
My business startup was messy. Actually, I was broke.
You see
My
how
wife
weird
and I
it is.
lived on fumes for 4 years. To escape our financial reality, we played board games and dreamt of someday
And then
owning
the
our
back
own
page has the
boardwalk
floor
and
plan
park
on it.
place. That's why I created my 5th successful company, Patriot Software, to help small business owners do their payroll without going broke. And if you need help, we will help you for free.
I guess I did have my
Go to patriotsoftware.com and enter promo code RADIO, and I'll give you 2 months of payroll processing free.
Yeah, it is.
patriotsoftware.com.
You know,
I
so
called
many
them
people call me when they're injured and they say, Tom, who should I call? And
I take my
say,
wife
John
and my
Fuller,
son up
Fuller
with
Law.
Tom to
Personal
this
injury
unit.
is nothing to fool around
My
about. The other
son's like,
side will
Dad,
always
this
try
is
to
Tom
minimize your
Martino's
claim.
home.
The other side will
It was as
always
big as
try
our
to
whole
make
house.
you feel greedy.
No, you mean condo, right?
Or your condo, it's as big as our whole house, what I'm
If it's
saying.
someone else's fault, you should be
That
paid.
whole,
It's not
on
fair.
one level,
You
that's
never
crazy.
do your own. John Fuller will fight for you, and he
You know
only
what
gets
this
paid.
thing
You
costs?
get paid.
In
303-597-4500.
downtown Denver?
303-597-4500. Personal injury CO.
Downtown Denver.
I know a friend who has one smaller and not as nice.
If you get arthritis, you're correct.
Holy cow.
Downtown
I sold a home built in 1899, and because it's historic, it's sold for quadruple the price it would sell for anywhere else, just because it's historic.
The Raleigh House is the name of the treatment center.
Frank, if I was living there
for addiction and
full
substance
time,
use.
I would
Several
really,
locations
I
in
would
Colorado,
really
but here's the
have
bottom
to
line.
Stephanie
They
would get
offer
rid of
this
it.
free informational line for anyone affected by
By the way,
addiction.
for whatever reason, I got a notification last night on the website. All of their tours are having problems where they got hacked, so they're working on fixing them. So, the virtual tour company.
I don't know what that is.
They're called, oh gosh, I
Yeah,
can't
it's the one that hosts it.
Yeah, the one that hosts it. So we still have our backup, which is our walkthrough video, but the other one's temporarily down for now. But it'll be back up soon. So. You're right. But that's what I'm going to hand out to those people when they, the ones that are very interested. You know, that way they could take something with them. It's more tangible.
Glasses. They'll never tint or yellow. yellow. They'll never wear out. They'll have like bionic eyes, a clear lens exchange. That's what I did. Perfect vision.
Good views. Oh heck, man! I'll tell you. You know what? I told my photographer, I says, man, get some night shots, because I was studying everything.
It's not his fault. It was cloudy that night. You don't even see the mountains. And the mountains are all up there.
But Tom, here's the positive. When they show up at the condo, now it's even better than they realized. We pointed that out. Looks like
you can see all up the front range. You can see.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? The problem with agents is agents oversell everything. You should never do that. Tease a little bit, get them there, and have them walking out saying it's better than I thought it was.
We bought this before it went on the market.
They just finished it.
Tino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere. We have some lines open, which means you can get right through. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I love it when we can do something like this and help you. All you have to do is call. This hour brought to you by One Clear Choice Garage Doors. One Clear Choice Doors. Those are garage door people I go to. 303-713-TALK is our number. Now, if you want One Clear Choice Doors, the best way is oneclearchoicedoors.com, or you can call them. I'll give you that number in a second. Just fully install garage door openers, Wi-Fi technology, backup, time to close features, and backup batteries and all of that. Wi-Fi, 303-565-6409, just $333. 303-565-6409, oneclearchoicedoors.com. So I'm Tom, and we talk about good things. We talk about bad things. We talk about things in between. I think we helped the guy get his car out of repossession. I think we helped another woman with her apartment place. And what about this commercial property, though? We're still looking into that. The guy's going to send us the agreement. The HOA is saying he can't build commercial on it. It's only a zoned, not zoned, but approved by covenants for a home, yet zoning allows more. You see, you need to investigate real estate when you buy it. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com is with us. Frank Duran. Frank, I tell people to look at a piece of property as a target, with the bullseye being the actual residence or premises, the outer ring being total outer ring being your access and location. As you get closer, the rings should signify utilities, easements, all of the things you need to consider, ordinances, HOAs, taxing districts, and then right in the center, of course, the premises itself with an inspection. Do you know how many people, Frank, have gotten into a real estate deal where even though it's zoned one way, they actually agreed to more restrictions via the HOA?
Yeah, unfortunately. And I've had people contact me that bought a home, 5 years before. It says, Frank, we bought this home with this agent 5 years before, and we didn't realize there was this with the HOA or that with the zoning. And
right.
So those things are very important. And we talk to our buyers before they buy about those kind of things.
You have to know.
You have to know. Absolutely.
Now, there are even some restrictions some people have on unrelated parties living in the home. Do you know that?
Sure.
I mean, Frank, a lot of people don't realize that. Seriously, if you had your brother and his wife move in with a child, if it goes beyond 30 days, in some HOAs, they can say they can't live here.
That's right. There's rental restrictions. There could be pet restrictions. You have to be careful.
Yeah. Like numbers of dogs even.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Some actually would say just one dog. So, I mean, not that that's a terrible thing. I'm just saying, it could be for you. Now, we mentioned price per square foot. What are the ranges, Frank said? What difference does it make? You go by the home and where it's located, because one price per square foot could be a great price there, but a terrible price somewhere else. But they wanted to ask, this is a follow-up message I got, so when you do price by square foot, let's say you find a neighborhood where the average square foot price is $350 or $400 or $200, what square footage is counted? That's important.
Great question. Typically you're going to look at the above-ground square footage. That's typically what's looked at. Now, they will show the overall square footage, but what's looked at first is the above-ground square footage.
And that's the one at primary. The other ones are not assessed at the same amount.
That is right, yeah.
Now, they might disguise a walkout ranch as a two-story. It's not a two-story. It's a walkout ranch. And you may even have high ceilings below.
Sure.
But if more than a certain percentage is covered and it's a walkout, it's still a ranch. so they justify pricing by including all square footage when really they shouldn't, not for appraisal purposes. 303-713-8255. Okay, so our common man today, Jan D'Angelo, I asked him to come in. He's an aviation buff. He worked in the aviation industry, but he's really in business development in general. That's pretty cool. And as a buyer, you're shopping right now, let's say, for real estate. What do you look for first? Jan, what's the very first thing you look at? You personally, not what people should, but what, like you're looking right now. So what are you mainly concerned with?
Location.
Yeah, I think everybody does, right? Like, where is the damn thing?
Well, I mean, more specifically, location relative to anymore today into access to public transportation.
Yeah.
So,
do you use public transportation?
Well, you know, I just came back from Chicago. A few years out there, and it's everywhere. It's easy. You can take the train, the bus.
We're not acclimated yet that way.
We're pretty close.
We're getting there, aren't we?
The light rail. I use the light rail a lot.
It's nice. It's really nice.
So for out here, for me, in my lifestyle, having access to public transport is important. Access to resources, restaurants, areas, you know, the Texas is a nice area to be in.
What they call mixed use.
Mixed use, sure.
It used to be you wanted to be away from everything commercial. Residents were residents and commercial was commercial. People like that mixed use now. They like it. I noticed in New York City, some of the condos, the buildings, they don't, for some reason, call them condos. I mean, they do, but they don't. They call them apartments even when they buy them. But here's what's cool. Some of them have inside the building a store. A general, you know, like a store, like a convenience store, like on the first floor. So imagine walking into your, you know, complex, and on the first floor you actually have a store. You can run down and buy stuff. It's cool. 303-713-8255. Rick wants to talk about evictions. Rick, I'm sorry, that's not Rick. Hold on. There you are, Rick.
Tom, how you doing?
Good. What's going on, Rick? What's your question or concern?
We have a property that the gentleman was being evicted from.
So you're renting it out?
We rent them out. Yep.
Okay, and you're evicting a guy?
We have, yeah. We've gone through the process. He has moved out of the house.
Okay, now he moved out in what part of the eviction?
Well, he got served and then moved out immediately, pretty much a couple days
When you
after
say
that.
served, so it wasn't the 3-day notice, it was after he ignored the 3-day notice, you went to court.
There you go.
And you went to court and got a hearing set, and he was served with that hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he moved out prior to the hearing. So are you going to show, or did you show at the hearing?
We did not. The lawyer did.
Okay, good. And he was not there?
No.
And the eviction then was granted?
Yep.
Okay, and then the next step is to getting that writ of whatever you get, replevin or whatever, to get them out of there, the writ of possession or whatever. Did you get that?
Well, supposedly he has moved out.
I understand that, but technically, did you go to that next step?
The writ of possession.
Yeah.
And no, I don't think we have done that yet.
I'm wondering if you have to. What does your attorney say? Do you still have to do that?
Well,
I know he's out of there, but what would prevent him from coming back?
Well, nothing, and that's true.
And why was he evicted? Was it for non-payment?
Yep.
And
3 months worth.
Oh, how many? 3 months. And was he in the middle of a month?
This is the end of his February will be the end of his 3rd month.
Okay, so he actually moved out before the end of the month. He could come back and claim, wait a minute, hey, I was not evicted. Get the hell out of here. You didn't change the lock. Your attorney should tell you this. I personally don't think you can change the locks and take possession without that writ of possession, because he did not end the lease. I mean, yes, he left. I don't know, man. This is weird. I would do it just to protect myself. I'm not trying to give you legal advice. I'm just saying practically, don't you feel weird that he can come back?
Not if I change the locks, he can't come back.
I know, but I wonder, though, if he came back and the locks were changed, says, wait a minute, you had no right to do this. I'm in the middle of my rent cycle, and you changed the locks. Prove that you evicted me. You don't have the writ of possession.
Okay, well, I will call on the writ of possession here after
I would, not on my say-so, I would bring it up with my attorney. I'm not trying to say I know it all, really, because evictions get hazy to me. If there's anyone listening that went through something like this, let us know. The thing I fear, Rick, is that he could come back and say, wait, my locks are changed. And you better give me a key because who told you I didn't leave? And you can say, well, you didn't pay. And then you say, well, then evict. Then he says, well, then evict me. And you say, well, I did. And he says, okay, where's the writ of possession? I don't think that'll happen, but man, would that be crazy. So originally, though, what did you call about?
Well, that was the thing, whether we can go change the locks and take back possession of the house.
Yes, you can with a writ of possession. That I know, with a writ of possession. But technically, there is no writ of possession. But there is something called abandonment. But I think you have to wait for that. And right now, if you went through all of the pain, think about this, Rick. You went through all of the pain of an eviction, so why not? You already spent the money, so why not just get the last writ?
Sponsored by Farmers Insurance.
Don't you think, I mean, you went through all that money to get this done?
Also not on his deposit.
Fix it 24/7 here. Outside by 270.
His deposit.
Simply Florida. So watch out for
He still needs to give him a notice that he's keeping his deposit too because of lack of.
You're right. All of that stuff. That's right. You gotta start chiming in without being asked.
Cherokee. And up in the high country, Clear Creek Canyon for rockfall mitigation. It's closed until 5 p.m. The forecast. Mostly sunny today with a high of 33. Tonight mostly cloudy overnight with a low around 12. 20 seconds. Fix it 24/7. 30 spot. 6:30. K-How. From a car landing on a roof to a car landing in a pool. We know what things do because we've seen
4-story townhouse.
Okay. Fix it 24/7. The $39 people, that means for $39, they will find any problem that you have with plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, or drains for $39 if you decide to have the work done. They will apply the $39. If you don't, it's just $39. So you can dictate exactly what you're going to spend and find out what is going on with your home, especially when it comes to sometimes that's a long time, right? I mean, you know, that takes hours sometimes. Just $39 though to find the problem. Fix it 24/7. FixMyHome.com. 720-526-3939. 720-526-3939.
Hi, this is Courtney Pierce, president of Buy and Build Incorporated. Gray is all the rage now, and we have new metal cabinets called Gridstone cabinets. Just like all of our cabinets are all with boxes with hardwood plates and no hardwood board.
Oh, you have one to sell?
I just sold my place in Chicago.
Oh, so when did you come back?
I came back,
Visit our showroom at
2012,
Washington Street in Denver.
about a condominium here because I was going back and forth for a couple of years.
So you're renting,
And then I rented it out,
the dead of winter.
and I thought I'd be going back.
But your nights can be especially cold, and your mornings dreary if the IRS is on your case.
So
I'm
now I have a
consumer
small
advocate Tom
condo
Martin.
here.
Do you owe back taxes? Been years since you filed? Facing an audit? Get help from my friends at Larson.
I don't need a lot.
Shed
I'm not a
your
big
winter
house guy anymore.
warm up
Yeah,
with
so,
Ron and Jack Larson and their team
Centeno-Schultz,
of licensed tax I know. experts. They'll go between you and the IRS to get you
It's funny how your
priorities better than you do on your own.
Yeah, I'll never
Larson Tax Relief are the experts I endorse on my referral list at referrallist.com. They understand life and taxes don't always fit together perfectly, so they won't judge you. Get relief, Larson Tax Relief, and put your tax problems behind you once and for all. Nothing to lose except stress and your winter blues. Don't waste another season with anxiety, worry, and shuddering when the mail arrives. Come in from the code 844 Larson Tax. That's 844 LARSON Tax. Or online at LarsonTaxRelief.com.
Is your garage door making weird noise? This is Dave Wallace. If you're having issues with your garage door, call Don's Garage Doors. The only
It's funny how
garage
this
door
market
company I
works.
personally endorse.
Overnight something
I
just
use
pop
Don's
up,
Garage Doors in my home,
and you got to jump,
folks,
you know.
you should too. Your garage is the entrance to your home, and you want somebody you
Step
can
you
trust.
good? Or
Next
start
time you
you
need a
good
garage
trip?
door repair or
Yeah,
replacement, call Don's
she's
Garage
had some
Doors.
lingering jet lag or a bug or something.
That's 303-738-3667
Yesterday.
or online at
A little better today, but still.
Ideal Home Loans. For your next ideal home loan, you've heard me say that before, because they have programs made for
That's a lot of
you,
passion to
and
do
they will
that.
pick a loan program right for you. For example, if you're
I'll send you
approved,
some lists, Jim.
approval means you can get a loan. But
I'm
ideal home
constantly
loans,
in front of
they go
stuff too. Like
beyond the
people
approval
contact me
with
and say, "Hey, I'm thinking
credit
about
optimization.
selling a
They
home or
tweak
something."
your
So I
credit in order to get
this
even
was
better
on the market in
pricing
4 days.
and
What do you
better
think?
rates. Credit optimization.
I told my realtor in Chicago, it's like, you know, if you specialize in this neighborhood here, you must have people that, you know, say, if you hear anything, whatever. The guy was, anyway, long story short, I bought that place in 2010. It was priced reasonably good for the market, for the comps, everything, and I got out of there selling it for $5,000 more than what I paid.
5,000 net?
5,000. What I sold for was 5,000 more than what I paid.
Right.
In 2010.
Right.
No,
No, I understand, but was that 5,000 more net after all the commissions and stuff, or 5,000 more gross? That was in Chicago?
Why is that? Nobody can explain it. I don't know.
Chicago went down?
Fabulous property. 2,800 square foot, 4-story townhouse. Four-story, 4-bedroom, 4-bath, heated 2-car garage in the unit. I mean, brand new. When I bought the model. Wow. Best location in the entire property.
I'm Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. How is your life? Give us a call. We'll try to squeeze you in to do everything we need to do to make your life just a little easier. Let's see. What is this update on Patrick? Do you have it, Suzanne, or is he on the phone? She's on the phone. I'll get it later. Let's talk about your problem. Do you have it for Patrick?
I have an update on Patrick.
Patrick was the failure to launch kid that said, you know, he's having trouble. We gave him a ration and kicked him in the butt and said, listen, if you want us to mentor you, come on in. He came in. We gave him some instructions, some basic principles to follow. He did, you know, I'm telling you, the kid responded at first. He had some setbacks, buying a car he shouldn't have purchased and doing some, in my opinion, bogus workers' comp thing at work so he could get a check. And then he finally did get his ass back to this program that taught him how to weld, and he went to work. And you listen, I'm going to give him credit for putting up with us, because he does let us know both the mistakes and the successes he's had. So he does face the music. What's going on now?
So Dad just called for a referral on a side note, Tom, and told me he's Patrick's dad. How's he doing? We haven't heard from him because he's working like crazy.
Now, wait a minute. Who called?
His father just called.
Oh, cool. His dad called to let us know how he's doing. And now his dad and mom were both disgusted with him. And so...
He's living at home, Tom, doing well, working like crazy. Out at the airport.
Gee, you know what? I think Patrick just needed to know someone was watching and someone cares. Think about that. You know, really, when you know someone cares and someone is watching, then he calls and reports back. I mean, really, that's what prayer's all about, right? 303-713-8255. Gary, what's going on?
Hey, Tom.
What's happening?
I am having an issue with my health insurance.
What's wrong with it? What's wrong? First of all, what's the issue? Is it with a claim?
No, it's when I went to enroll during open enrollment.
Yeah.
My broker says that I'm no longer insured because of a failed payment.
Oh, okay. So it's that easy. They said it was a failed payment. And what were you canceled or lapsed in the middle or at the beginning? When did it lapse, according to your broker?
I didn't know it lapsed.
I'm not asking that. When does he say when does he say it lapsed?
I don't know that.
Okay.
It sounded to me, Tom, from fielding the call, that he went to renew at the beginning of the year during open enrollment. He gave his agent all the information, but he is not covered as the beginning of the year.
Why, though? I mean, so you enrolled in a new program, and you were supposed to be covered from January 1st, right?
I enrolled in January 12th.
Okay.
And I got the same insurance that I got last year.
Okay, you re-enrolled,
and I hadn't seen no paperwork, no bill, no nothing come
Right,
through.
and then all of a sudden, then yesterday you call him and the guy says you were never covered or you were covered and it was canceled. What did he say?
He said your insurance never went through because of a failed payment.
Okay, and that's very common with an initial payment. How were you making payments?
I was making them by check.
In other words, you would get an invoice and then send a check.
Yeah.
And your company, what's the name? What health insurance company?
The health insurance broker?
The company, the carrier.
Anthem Blue Cross.
Okay, so Anthem says they didn't get your payment.
No, that's where Robbie Taylor.
Yeah, but did they...
I haven't called Anthem Blue Cross yet.
Well, Anthem Blue Cross, he says you were canceled. My gut feeling, that's just my gut, is that he forgot or didn't follow through. That's my feeling. And then he's just trying to cover his ass by saying it was a missed payment. That's my feeling.
That's what my feeling.
Yep. But what's the big deal? Thank goodness you had no claims, right?
Well, yeah.
So you can just re-enroll. I wouldn't care. No harm, no foul. At this point, there's no damage done, so I wouldn't care. I mean, hold on, though. Let me ask John Jones. This is our health insurance expert, and you know we always go to Integra Insurance. If you're buying health insurance, never try to do it directly. There's no reason to. You don't pay any more for going through a qualified broker. And John Jones, Integra Insurance, listen very quickly. If I went to a guy who's a deadbeat, a broker, he's lazy, whatever, and I think I'm enrolled, and I don't have any invoice or anything, and it becomes February 20th, and I call the guy, and let's just say for argument's sake, he covers his butt by saying, oh, you were canceled. It never went into force. You were canceled for lack of payment because the guy never got an invoice, never made a payment. So let's say, John, for whatever reason, whether he really did get a bill and ignored it or whether the broker never put the order through, I don't care. Let's just say, for argument's sake, I am sitting here February 20th, 2019. Since I've had no claims, there's no harm, no foul. I didn't pay. I didn't have any claims. Can I start from March 1st or today onward?
No.
Oh, what? What do you mean no?
Most carriers, you know, if you don't make your payment, most of the carriers out there will cancel your insurance after a 30-day period.
I'm just asking, can I start anew? Can you find, if I came to you and said, Mr. Jones, for whatever reason, I don't have coverage, it was supposed to go through, but I think my broker screwed up, can I get a new policy?
It's going to be out. It's going to have to be outside the ACA type plan.
So if I was depending on credits,
plan that's being underwritten,
yeah,
or we'll have to go with one of the health sharing co-ops.
So what I'm saying is, if I was depending on the health exchange, on the insurance exchange because of subsidies and stuff, I'd be screwed.
Yes.
Now, Gary, were you getting tax credits or subsidies?
Yes, sir.
Of how much? Do you know? What was your premium?
$600 a month. It was applied monthly for me and my wife.
Wait a minute. Bi-monthly, you would pay $300 twice. You would pay.
I had roughly $600 worth of insurance I was paying every month.
You were paying.
It should have been just being paid monthly.
Here's what I want to know, Gary. You were paying $600 a month. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
For you and your wife. Now, the important question was, on top of that $600, was the government paying any part for you on top of it?
Yes.
How much?
About an equal amount, $600.
So your coverage costs $1,200 a month?
Yes, sir.
Does that sound right, John?
It depends on his age, and of course it depends on his income, and who is the carrier.
Anthem, Blue Cross.
Anthem.
Or Blue Shield or whatever.
I mean, if Gary wants to give us a quick call, Tom, we'll see if we can go to our contacts with Anthem and see if somehow we can get him reinstated.
Here's what I want to know, John. Is there a way to go to your carrier there and find out if the order was ever put in as it was supposed to have been by his broker, or whether or not that broker's lying? In other words, you know, it means something. If that broker just forgot and said, oh, it was canceled due to non-payment, it seems to me, John, why would all of a sudden it be non-payment if this guy Gary was paying every single month last year?
I mean, a lot of the plans, Tom, should have automatically renewed this year. So if he's through Connect for Health, which he is, I'd recommend we start with Connect for Health to make sure that order was put through.
Here's what we're going to do, Gary, and this is what you should have done to begin with. Use Integra Insurance, the only health insurance broker to consider. You know, Gary, what they're going to do as a favor is go through all of this to see, first, why didn't it get auto-renewed? Second, did your broker screw up? Or third, did they send a bill somewhere and you need to know about it? All right?
That's what I need to know.
And we're going to refer you directly off the air here. For anyone else, if you have a life-changing qualifying event, which is unemployment or a change of jobs, locations, whatever, divorce, you need it, you can get it. But otherwise, you have to wait till open enrollment. Integra Insurance, 303-466-5500.
This is Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW and iHeartRadio.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Well, apparently, why not great? I wonder if they still building new ones, because many times people's resales get hurt by the builder because the builder is still keeping his cost low and selling them and competing.
Not in my area. Well, I had some of that. There was a new construction on the west side of the mall. They're remarkable, but they were 150 more for the same square footage. I was
Hey, some like
they were going from
out,
like 750.
and you doesn't trust them, your son can get it.
I started
Going to work.
listing at $5.99.
Yeah,
it wasn't really. I guess significant. But still, I couldn't even get a show.
Confirming today that
I mean, it was the weirdest that nobody could
value owns a $1 million share stake in the
and I thought, I dropped the price a number of times, and I thought I'd be out of it. You know, when I moved out last December, or a year ago, and I thought I'd be out of it in like, 4 or 5 months. I ended up carrying the thing for the whole year.
Wow.
So I had that.
Weather hits.
You know, I had all the fix-up costs before for the market.
Are taxes going unreal in Chicago, or?
New Michelin
One of the
premium
problems.
wiper blades. Designed with
Probably
exclusive
exactly.
SmartFlex technology
You know,
for frameless beam
I think I've read of the 50 cities that are bad, New York and Chicago are the top 2 cities that could
So
go
when
in.
the going gets tough.
Well, Chicago's not in a good financial
Tom, 1 minute.
place. But I'll tell you what, on fire, it's a
Walmart,
rental
Cowboys,
market.
Amazon, and others.
And this is what nobody wants to buy.
Farmers Insurance.
I think that's the problem. And my realtors, my couple of
There's a few
realtors in
things to watch
Chicago
out for.
said
Lunch
that
hour
the
drive
places that are
continues on
moving
this Wednesday. Got a
are
crash
like
down
10
by
million and
IC5
up.
past University
No problem.
off to the left shoulder.
They're moving?
Curiosity
That
delayed.
are-
Oh, people are moving.
No, it's selling. They're selling. You got a listing 10 million or up, no problem.
Crash off highway being
You'll
cleared
move that
Smoky
property.
Hill and
Why is
Himalaya
that?
as
But,
well. And up in the
10 million and up will move,
Closed getting cleared.
30 seconds, Denver
Wow.
Egress
I don't,
35.
but
The weather forecast.
people rent
today with a high near 33.
for a reason you said. They don't know what's going on with the financial status of the city, the state. So I said, well, just rent. You know, I don't want to commit to anything yet.
Traffic and
I think that's why.
Gotcha. Did you like living in Chicago?
From a dog accidentally
Really? Why? Because there's a lot of stuff to do, or
It's a beautiful city.
We know it's
I'll start with the people.
Tom?
The people are fabulous.
Oh, are they really? Okay.
Okay.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance.
Safety, protection, beauty, value, durability. I'm talking about the window wells in your house. Yeah, I know they're probably broken down and dirty, and sometimes they're undersized. DenverEgressWindow.com can fix it and make it better. They can put in a brand new one. They can rebuild the old ones you have. They can do whatever you want, making all of that square footage inside safer and legal. 720-626-4221. Anything to do with egress windows, that's escape windows and window wells. DenverEgressWindow.com.
Commit to a healthier you, inspired by your genes.
I guess I just think that Chicago is humid, kind of windy in the winter. It's not humid in the summer?
It's not. it's not like the oppressive Texas heat.
Oh no, you bet. I lived in Minnesota. Minnesota was humid.
I lived in Minneapolis for you.
Oh, didn't it?
I thought it was terrible. Chicago has terrible hot weather.
No.
I mean, I didn't live there, but when I go there, in the summer it sucks.
If you're out west, Naperville, out that you go inland, but if you're on the river, and by the lake rather, and on the river, it's very pleasant. Playing there.
So the city itself is very pleasant.
Yeah, it's nice.
You don't feel like Florida sweat.
No,
New York.
Not that bad.
No, not that bad. Not oppressive, sweaty. It's humid.
But what a beautiful place to live.
But the architecture, the people,
the
festivals.
I love it. I love the restaurants. I love going there. My wife's from Chicago. I mean, not her grandparents. Her parents.
Yeah. The food, the best restaurants in the world.
I know.
I mean, it's
New York would have an argument with you.
Well, they're good too. I'll take it.
Let's put it this way. They're the real deal. And New York's the real deal as opposed to LA.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Because LA just takes every fad that comes through. And
No, I came back here. I mean, so I had an unlimited expense account.
Because we have a special
$29.95.
This is a great special.
I
like
couldn't
it for
find
what you get after the service. Go ahead out.
Service and food like what I was not.
I know. It's not like Chicago or New York, but it's not bad.
I will tell you the latest. My recent plan, and I'm sure you've been there. Is the new Ocean Prime ETC? That's
Oh no, I haven't been to the new one. The one downtown though is spectacular.
No. This blows that out of the
Thank you for giving me an idea. I'm going to take up my honey.
This is Chicago NDPC. Far now. It's over the top.
Wait, we can't go tonight. We have Soup for the Soul tonight.
Roadside assistance.
You know what Soup for the Soul is? It's a wonderful charity.
303 Pro Auto.
It's you buy a ticket, you buy it, and then it's fundraising for the home.
It was a book, right? Based on the book?
Evans and on Santa Fe, just south
It's
of Florida.
wait, did I say Soup?
It was Chicken Soup for the Soul.
So this is so you go in, and every different restaurant has stations where you go get soup. Every one of them. And it's fun. Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Frank Duran, the real estate man, is here. The best of the best of the best of the best. Somebody wanted to know, Frank, what's the longest in this market you've ever had a house sit on the market? That's a good question.
Boy, in this market.
Yep, like in the recent year, let's say. The longest you've had a house sitting on the market. I know you're not making guarantees, and past performance is not indicative of,
That is a great question. My God.
You be thinking about it. I'm going to take, Terry.
The market.
This is very interesting. He wants specialty insurance for what, Terry?
For scuba diving.
Now, what do you mean by scuba diving? For, like, if you're hurt?
Yeah,
Okay, so you already have this insurance?
Yeah, I have a policy that's in place.
But wait a minute, why not just regular health insurance or accident insurance or life insurance? Tell me what this covers.
Well, first of all, you're not covered out of the country when you're doing those activities. So there's a few companies out there that specialize in dive insurance for international travel.
And you're specifically talking about complications relating to the dive, like if you get hurt, not if you get an upset stomach at the hotel and miss your trip. I mean, okay.
Yeah, so it's for a specific dive incident.
Okay. Give me an example of something it would cover.
Decompression sickness.
Okay, gotcha.
That would be one example.
All right.
So, anyway, I'll try to make this story as short as possible because I know your time is valuable, but I bought this insurance package prior to leaving on a trip last July to Aruba. Surprisingly enough, I had an incident when I was there.
What kind?
I blacked out about 65 feet down.
Do you know why?
My doctor and I think we've figured it out.
You don't mind sharing?
No, not at all. It was so I had some personal equipment failure the first day, so I rented equipment for my second day of diving from the dive shop. which was not set up for me.
What is that? So what happened, do you think?
Well, it was a combination of, at least this is what my doctor and I have come up with, that it was a combination between hyperventilation and a vagal nerve response.
Okay. When you black out and you're 65 feet down, what happens?
Well,
I mean, what would prevent you from just your head bobs down and the mouthpiece comes out and you drown?
Yeah, I was very, very lucky.
So tell me what happened to you. What happened?
Well, the dive master recognized that I was a de-stressed diver. I'm also an internationally certified rescue diver.
Okay.
So what he did was an absolute textbook.
What did he do?
It's called a distressed diver ascent.
What is that?
So he basically reaches around your regulator, which is your mouthpiece. He holds that to your mouth and inflates the emergency air bladder on your ascent vest.
But at 65 feet, you don't have to decompress on the way. Oh, you do, don't you?
Oh, yes, you do.
Okay,
you have to be very careful in the way you ascend so that you don't get decompression sickness.
God.
So anyway, all of that was done absolutely textbook. He got me to the surface. I came to the moment they unbuckled my vest, and I pulled myself onto the boat under my own strength. I was very, very, very lucky.
Then what?
So then the boat took me to shore. The dive shop.
Did they insist you go to the doctor?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And what did they find? Anything?
They ran EKGs, X-rays on my chest. They ran CTs for my lungs.
Did you go Did you go the next day?
Oh, they kept me there for almost 48 hours.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Why do you think? Because they knew you had dive insurance?
Well, no. I mean, in a dive accident like that, they want to make sure that you don't have decompression sickness, because that way they would have had to fly me to a chamber. They also wanted to make sure that it wasn't an issue with my heart or pulmonary embolism. So they keep you there for serious monitoring.
Gotcha, man. So then what after that?
So basically I racked up a $3,300 bill at the Aruba Hospital.
That's pretty damn cheap. For 48 hours and emergency? Oh, my God. Is that cheap, huh?
So the insurance company sent the hospital a letter saying, you know what, we're going to take care of this, release him. And I walked out paying the $250 for the emergency room visit, and that was it. So then the insurance company comes back 4 months later and says they're denying my claim for pre-existing causes.
Whoa! What does that mean?
Well, here's the interesting part about it. So I see your buddies over at Revitalize Health.
Yeah?
So they're saying that the testosterone pellets and the medication that I take for gout were pre-existing conditions that caused this incident.
That's so crap. How can normal testosterone, how can that affect...
Exactly. So
wait a minute. They went through all of your medical records because for any reason they could find.
Yes. Yes.
Come on, that's ridiculous. Well, I smell bad faith coming.
So my doctor, I took him their paperwork explaining their denial of cause. He read through it and he laughed.
Who did?
My doctor.
Yeah.
He wrote me a letter that I sent back to them for my appeal, which is now going on 6 months. And every time I write a letter about my appeal, what's the status, they just say it's in appeals and we'll get back to you. So I talked to an acquaintance of mine who is an attorney, and he said just keep sending them nasty letters, threaten them with the press, threaten them with social media and government agencies, which I've done all of that.
Well, you threaten them with bad faith. Where are they located, this company? Who's the underwriter?
It's Global Benefits Group in Florida.
They do disability insurance?
I have no idea.
Global Benefits Group, it's called. Is that the agent? Is that the underwriter?
Dive Assure is the company that advertised the insurance, and then I believe Global Benefits Group is their underwriter, I think. I don't know how all that works.
Yeah, okay. The underwriter is the one with the money, right? And So listen, man. What did they do? Did they refuse payment?
The first time, and then I've been waiting on my appeal for months.
Well, I would go to the insurance commissioner's office. Are they licensed in Colorado? They better be.
I would assume so. I mean, because they're selling an international package.
What I would do is find their registered agent here. I would find their their connection here, make sure they're licensed. I put in a formal complaint with the insurance commission. I would also sue them in small claims court. It's going to come, it's easily under $7,500. It's made for small claims court. Kick their ass.
Okay. I mean, do you have anybody that would,
Yeah, we'll call. Yeah, we'll you want us to put pressure, we'll do that.
I'd love to.
Yeah, we'll do it. But I'm telling you, at the same time, you got to do some other stuff.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, you don't want to run down and do all that you're saying if I don't. But start figuring out what you need to do as far as an insurance commissioner's complaint, and I'll tell you why. If other people are getting screwed like this, fellow drivers, there's strength in numbers. One complaint they may just note. Two complaints they might say, uh-oh. So hang on.
And Tom, that's the thing too is I've probably got access to 250,000 divers worldwide. I've been doing this for 40 years, 35 years.
All right.
And I mean, I've threatened them with every dive publication and trade magazine, through social media, through all the dive organizations that are out there.
Well, when we call, we'll make it sound like we're big bad monsters, which we are. Suzanne, get his contact information. Let's let Dan make an initial call, and then Dan and I can conference on where to go from here. But meanwhile, I want Terry to please remind him to get the registered agency in Colorado, also the insurance commissioner's office.
Sponsored by Farmers Insurance.
We are...
Tom, 1 minute, fix it 24/7/30. Construction to watch out for as the Lunch Hour Drive continues across town. Crews are still working on the direct southbound I-25 past University. Also, left shoulder bumpers and curiosity backup. Watch out for the right lane westbound I-76 and 74th. And right shoulder blocked.
Boy, I didn't realize the regular insurance wouldn't cover if you're doing international marketing. They went to Mexico. A lot of people do it in Mexico.
And getting
you're covered to be international commercial.
Tom, you got me liking Yanni's, buddy.
But maybe
that Greek food, I love it.
Yanni's?
Or Yanni's, yeah.
I love
Yanni's.
I called it Yanni's, Yanni's.
630 K-How.
You like Greek
car
food?
landing on a roof to a car landing in a pool.
I do too.
Talk to farmers. We know what they do because we've
We're up.
Yeah.
We are farmers.
Fix it 24/7. The people that call if you have a problem, they'll come and help you out, especially if you're part of their club. And if you're part of their club, I'll tell you, it's a great benefit because they put you top priority when it's really cold like this and you need help. They'll get there first. It's not expensive. It's worth every penny. And I'm telling you, I'm part of it. And I don't get part of these things unless I think they pay off. Fix it 24/7. Now, I want to say something else. They're the $39 people. That means for $39, they will find any problem, no matter how long it takes. And they apply that. If you have the problem fixed, you don't even pay the $39. You just pay for the repair, and you won't get better value anywhere. 720-526-3939. FixMyHome.com.
I should have had it done right. Don't be that person that says this after ordering a project, right, Dan? You got that right. Hi, folks. Dan Chiquini.
So you want me to call the Global Benefits or
whoever, whatever. I would start with the broker and then keep it going and say, look, man, this is a serious thing. There are a lot of people that, hear about this shit, and we want to know it's for real. I mean, medical experts say that this testosterone, what are you kidding me, has nothing to do with his causing that dive.
That's a stretch.
I can't believe, where would that be in his records that he's taking that?
They just looked at everything. He probably put it down. I'll bet you his initial application. Are you under any medication? And you know what? They had a contestability period. They saw that in the very beginning. You remind them of that.
28370 or drhi.com.
This is the most unbelievable offer I've ever heard from a transmission shop. Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair will tear down and open up your transmission free to diagnose your problem. Yes, free. The best standing offer in the business. If you decide it's too much to repair, no problem. If you want to take it somewhere else, no problem. You still pay nothing. This offer simply can't be beat. Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair on Santa Fe, just south of Dublin. 303-781-9858. 781-9858.
To make money in the market, you must be aggressive. To keep it, you must be defensive. Hi, this is Carlin Tucker. Our Tucker all-season portfolio provides secure monthly income, market offense with growth, and market defense, providing downside protection. Now you can retire happy. Retire with Tucker. Call us for your complimentary consultation at 303-734-1234. That's 303-734-1234. RetireWithTucker.com.
This is not an offer to buy or sell. Securities are offered through Tucker Asset Management.
When he was asking earlier about that. People were going to ask, what do they look for? And one of the key things is the passion. We're talking to people, they can sniff that out in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
When we were at it in the very early days, when Rick was writing the checks, we went out for a first round, and Goldman came in, and it was the fastest due diligence I've ever seen in my life. It wasn't a lot of money, it was like $6 million. But those guys lived with us
I
for
can
2
read the
weeks.
tiniest of print without glasses at 65, and you can too with a clear lens exchange. Oh, you can LASIK. They're experts in LASIK. They've done hundreds of thousands of LASIK procedures. But what about brand new lenses? You'll never get cataracts. You'll never need glasses. They'll never tint or yellow. They'll never wear out. You'll have like bionic eyes. A clear lens exchange. That's what I did. Perfect vision. Icon. ICare.com. 866-GOT. Icon. Icon. ICare.
Look, for every downturn, there's an opportunity somewhere.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm Tom Martino here. Helen, what's going on with your grandchild? Okay, Helen, you are the dad's mom? Okay, so your son and his wife got in trouble. How much trouble was that to lose their parental rights? Ah, gotcha. Okay, enough said. So, why is this other mom, this other grandmom, why is she so against you? Oh, wow. Now, did you try to get full-time custody? Well, okay, I was just going to say, just for people, in general, grandparents don't have any special rights in general. So, I mean, I know we hear a lot about grandparents' rights. It's a lot of bull, most of it. Most of it is. But Helen, all I'm asking is this. Did you try before? You weren't trying to get full custody. It wasn't like you were both battling each other for full custody. But were you trying to get sole custody to the exclusion of the other? That's what I want to know.
Well, no, I never said I wanted sole custody. First of all, I did not want
Oh, okay. Who's the other sibling? Is that a half-brother, or is that a full brother, a half-sister? So, and do they have different fathers or the same father? Okay, so basically, this woman has 3 kids and 3 dads. You want to be 4 kids and 4 dads, and you want to be part of this one boy's life, and the grandma will. Does the grandma have all 4 kids? And where's the 4th one? And oh, I get you. Okay, so your grandson is how old? Okay, listen, Helen, the other grandma, why was she awarded custody to begin with? Tell me why. What happened?
think she was, when she had the baby, they found something, that she was some illegal substance.
Uh-huh.
And I guess being that she's the maternal grandmother and she was willing to take the baby, she took the baby. But, as I said, I do not know why she, the grandmother, won't talk to me.
Did you ever talk to the grandma? Did you ever talk to her?
No, never. Ever. I tried through the social workers.
Have you ever tried calling her?
Yes, I text her a whole lot.
And what does she say?
Nothing. She never respond. So I was given one visitation at the social service. And then about a week or two after that, the mother wrote her mother from prison and told her mother to watch her back because my son was mad. I don't know nothing about that.
Okay,
and why would that
I understand.
affect me?
Listen, I understand. This is getting too far. You're never going to fight her legally on this. It's going to have to be done through some kind of negotiation. What I would recommend is have Suzanne text the other mom. She has a way of texting. Let's see if we can at least just talk to this other mom. I think Suzanne would be the best one, or Daphne on this. So hang on. Let's get your information. Frank Duran, the real estate man, I want to thank you for being here. He can be reached at 303-920-1622. And remember, goodbye, Jan, and save all your problems for me.
Ever wonder why Europeans seem to speak so many languages?
But anyway, it was fun. So anyway,
whether you're Spanish, French, or German,
you're ready to buy some